You want to go get water or something?
Actually,
More than
yeah.
likely,
We're
I
back.
can estimate that this is going to be an hour and a half. At the most, hour and a half. At the most, hour and a half. Hour and a half.
Crunchy.
Hello, guys. Welcome to the Crunch Crew. We got a special little new episode for you, something we haven't done before here on this channel. We are doing a Crunch Crew, a horror movie villain tier list. What a great way to start off October 2023. I'm a huge horror fan. I got three other horror fans with me. And we also got another guest with us. You want to go and introduce yourself, or do you want me to introduce you?
Uh, I mean, you can introduce me. I'm kind of interested to
Okay.
see how this
All
will
right.
go.
All right.
It's got to be a
Well,
good
we got a
introduction.
longtime friend.
Okay.
We got a longtime friend of us, Oni. Special fun fact about Oni is that he orders 2 sodas
Okay.
always
Yeah.
at Taco Bell.
Straight into it.
You might have straight into it. You might know him. We play a few Fortnite games with him, so you'll probably know his voice from there. Of course, we got returning John and returning Leonard. How you guys doing?
Doing well. Doing well.
How it's gonna be is that I have S through F, so we're gonna be going down the line, putting them where they need to belong, and at the very end of this tier list, the people that are ranked S, we're gonna choose one to go into Crunchy. That'll be like kind of like our GOAT, greatest of all time. They'll get the Crunchy award. The ones that are in the F rank or whichever the lowest rank is, they'll be going to the soft gummy. Because on this channel, things that are crunchy are amazing, and things that are gummy are not.
Damn, and I like gummy worms. That's crazy.
Some gummy bears.
Gummy
be
might be
hit.
the only exception. Gummy might be the only exception. But let's go and start down the line.
Okay, so really quick. So S is not the top
Is
rank.
the best.
Or is
It is.
or is
S,
it
S is the top rank.
okay,
S
S
is the top
is the
rank.
top rank. Okay.
Hold on,
Now,
let
do you-
me.
Yeah.
I'm fixing it.
Do you have some like criteria? Like, are we talking like body
Um,
count? Are we talking like origin story? Or are we
At
talking
least-
like
I think-
all this criteria just come into like one being?
So what initially I was thinking is that it's gonna be every factor. So probably like body count, powers, their movies. So just generally consensus. Like if
Okay.
something if one factor overweighs the other, like they're the terrible villain, but their movie was very amazing, that'll probably give them a few ranks.
Got it.
So it's kind of like a grade system. Yeah.
Mm.
All right. Well, first down the line, I figured the first person to talk about is the big meanie himself, Jason Voorhees.
Woo! One of my favorites.
I think Jason Voorhees is honestly the big daddy of horror. Like
Yeah.
I consider him like the classic. He's just the hockey mask, the machete. Honestly, it's S rank. Like I think he's also the only villain to have been in space.
As of now.
Yes,
Well, actually, there is Leprechaun in space.
Leprechaun's on
But I
here.
don't. That,
Yes,
that is not true, though. That's neither here or there. But yeah, I think he also did go to space.
Yeah, the Leprechaun did go in space. Leprechaun actually has another unique thing that I'll say about him when he gets here, but because he has something in space, he gets something in space that no one else has ever obtained before. But yeah, for Jason Voorhees, I feel like S rank is probably the most respectable place to put him at.
I think.
I mean, obviously,
I
yeah.
agree. I think I agree as well. Although I do disagree that you call him the big daddy of Halloween movies. I think
Who
that
else?
spot's been
Yeah.
taken by somebody else.
Jason?
When we talk about him, I'll get to it. But in terms
Okay.
of like Halloween essence movies, I don't
Okay.
think he's like the big daddy of it all. But
Oh,
his
man.
movies are just classic slasher.
Yeah,
Really redefine the 80s in terms of like the slasher genre. I will say that Friday the 13th, I should say, the first movie Friday 13th, is not as good
Yeah,
as
that
the
one
other
sucks
ones that are
balls.
upcoming. simply because one, Jason isn't in it. And there was like recently like this whole like rights thing that was just recently settled in court, where like
Yeah.
Friday the 13th Part One had nothing to do with Jason, so that's its own entity, and now the remaining Jason, classic Jason after that belongs to somebody else. So, but I think that Part One could have been better because it was about a mother's rage, which I think anybody could get behind that, like a mother's rage for the death of their child. And I think that could have done very well. But just the low budget, low camera work, all that stuff for what they did with it was very good. But I think as a Friday the 13th movie wasn't that great. But everything after that, just the craziness that is Jason, the craziness of the hockey mask, the classic machete, except for this one movie that they tried to turn Jason into like this devil worm and like he was just possessing people through the town. I can't remember which one that was, but there
Was
was
that
one movie that
Jason vs. Freddy?
no, not
No.
Jason versus Freddy. It was
It's a
like
weird one.
there was this Friday the 13th movie that like it was like a devil worm that was like possessing people, and I can't remember if it was part 5 or part 6. But it didn't really have a lot of Jason in that one either, or really at all, I believe. But yeah, it
Um,
was a super weird movie, but I mean that one really just didn't degrade the essence of Jason, because it was just like this one and done type thing they tried to do with him. But I think all in all, Jason is just a top tier
Mhm.
crunchy villain, if you will.
from what I saw, that he's Jason Warm is from Jason Goes to Hell.
That's the
So
one.
yeah. I considered putting Pamela on here, his mother, because the huge trivia question, like, oh, who's the villain from Friday the 13th, the first one? And,
Hmm.
the answer is his mother, but I don't think his mother got as much of a presence. So I didn't put her on. I didn't put her picture up on here, but yeah. Is everyone okay with Jason as S rank?
No,
Yeah. What?
I'll put him at A.
Hey,
Where
Honestly, the movie's kind of boring me.
Oh wait, did we change this up? Now
I
there's
did.
no S.
it's not so much ranking the movies, I believe. We're ranking more of like the villain themselves and how iconic they are, correct? Because if we're
So I
ranking
think the
movies, I think
movie-
he's probably got some of the weaker movies. But Jason himself, I believe, has become
do
this
that.
iconic slasher.
What do you want him?
A rank. Crunchy is only for one villain.
Why?
after-
Oh, for
we-
one?
That's dumb.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah,
Like a
no,
goat
One
Crunchy.
villain.
Crunchy. I
Okay.
said this at the very beginning. So
Okay.
I don't like
anything
that.
else in S rank, anything that's S rank, at the very end we vote on who's going to be the most crunchy. That crunchy is GOAT. It's the greatest of all time. It's the MVP.
Okay.
You can't just put one
The-
person and cheer by himself.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what it
All
is.
But
That's
I
right.
don't think Crunchy's a tier. I think Crunchy's just like the king of
All right,
Yeah,
S.
there you go.
Okay.
King.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
okay.
then we all agree then A. Then A
That's
for
fine.
now.
Yeah.
Okay.
And at the end, we're gonna say who's crunchy.
Yes. Yeah.
Got it. Okay.
Lost
Yeah, yeah.
my own.
So, well, this, you sure this is big enough, Leonard? Like,
Oh, it's big enough. Okay,
All
good. We
right.
can just stretch it out.
Zoom in a little bit.
all right. Well, now it's changed to ABC rank.
We can always stretch it.
Probably stretching it out.
Never
Probably
mind.
more
Don't
better.
touch it. Damn it.
All right. Next guy is Freddy Krueger.
Dude, you started with all the good ones.
Well, we can go from down to below if you guys
Yeah,
want to do
we-
that.
No, but it's
Well,
your
let's
show.
do Freddy, and then we'll pick from the bottom after that.
Okay. All right. Freddy Krueger.
He's got to be A also because he's one of the big three, I think. So, I mean, they had
Yeah.
they had movies together. That's how big they were together.
Yeah.
Like
Freddy Krueger
crossovers.
was.
Yeah,
Freddy
it's
Krueger
crazy
was
that
a
we live in a
classic.
universe that there was such a thing, huh? That there was
Yeah.
a Freddy versus Jason. like
That was
that
huge.
is actually insane. Like if I told that to somebody that lives, under a rock or like in just a completely other universe, they'd be like, "What in the world are you talking about?"
Dude, and then you
Would
tell
this
them about
exist
like
here?
Marvel, their brain will just explode.
Yeah, dude.
There's probably people that don't know that Freddy fought Jason. Like now that
Probably the younger
mean,
generation, yeah.
It's kind of old enough now. I think. Yeah, we're pretty
Yeah.
old now. Thanks for the reminder,
out-
Levi.
it actually came out 20 years ago. 20 years ago.
20?
Woo!
20
Were you
years ago.
serious?
No
20
way.
years
20
ago.
years ago.
Yeah.
Freddy versus Jason.
Came out, 2003.
That makes
How old
sense.
am I?
I am very old.
No way, it was 20.
It came out.
Came out
20 years.
2003. Yep.
20 years.
Oh my
Wow,
God.
dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was a kid.
Oh,
Why did I see that? I was a kid.
I thought
I saw
it
that in
in
theaters.
I guess, yeah.
I was like
me
9,
too.
my guy. But my horror journey started very young, dude. I remember like being 5 years old watching the original Evil Dead. Like that was crazy.
Oh,
I don't know how I got. Yeah, my family didn't care. They just let me watch whatever horror movie because my family's super horror movie buffs. But yeah,
That's how
dude, I
my
watched
family
like.
was, but my family let
Crazy.
me watch every horror movie except for 2 horror movies. For some reason, I guess maybe it was too scary or something like that, and that was House of a Thousand Corpses and House of Wax.
House
Those
of
are
Wax.
two
House
House
of
of
Wax.
Wax?
I mean, House
Yeah.
of Wax is in itself is a bad movie, but still, you should have been able to see that.
They
House
just
of a
don't want you
Thousand
to-
Corpse.
They don't want you to see
House
boobs.
of a
That's
Thousand.
it.
House.
They want you to see Paris
There
Hilton.
barely wasn't anything in there, bro. I just saw that movie recently. There was nothing in that movie other than like an Achilles cut. That's about it. Like that's the most memorable part of that film, bro.
That Achilles cut
But
gave me nightmares.
House
for
of a
years.
Thousand Corpse, yeah, I definitely agree. Like no child should have watched that. I watched that and I learned so much trailer trash lingo. It was insane.
That's Rob Zombie.
I just got I just got the Rob
Yeah.
Zombie treatment when I was like 10 years old, bro. It was insane. But back to Freddy Krueger.
Yes.
I
Freddy
think
Krueger, he's
Okay,
the
go
one
ahead, go ahead.
that well, in the first film, he's only shown for 6 minutes, and so he has
Exactly.
that huge impact on that movie, and he was only shown for like 6 minutes out of the hour and a half that movie is.
Are we just
Yeah.
going off of the first movie, or what are we doing?
we're just talking about like his history as a slasher.
Yeah,
Oh,
this is
okay.
slasher. Freddy Krueger overall, he became a lot like toony. Like he put like a lot of references in his dreams. Do you guys ever remember the guy? He had a dream about video games, and that's how he died.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
Yeah, like there was a
Freddy
lot of
Krueger-
pop culture references in their movies.
I feel like that was the
I
80s,
feel-
though.
I put Freddy
Yeah.
over Jason anyways. Any day.
I think in terms of like because Freddy Krueger in the later ones, he's a big trash talker.
Mm.
And it works. It's fun. Like you like to watch Freddy Krueger because I mean it's actually good that we're talking about Freddy now because you have Jason that literally doesn't say a word, maybe grunts, maybe like once or twice in the film, but like he never says a word. Like he's not like this antagonist that is talking trash to you, leading you on emotionally and all these other things because he's not like a dream. Like Freddy Krueger's nightmares type, manipulating you. It's just polar opposite, like he's a great character, especially like in the later ones when it starts getting a little cartoony, a little whimsical, but people like really enjoyed it for what it was. And so I think that, Freddy is just one of those characters that, along with like the contrast of like, Jason, that's just like this unstoppable force that's very stoic, doesn't say a word. You have Freddy that's just gonna manipulate you, turn what you love into nightmares, and kill you from your own minds, essentially. So it's a completely polar opposite. So I guess it's a good thing that we talked about Freddy now, because he's the polar opposite of what Jason was as a killer.
What was I gonna
And
say?
also,
How do you
yeah.
think-
So then the other thing too. Sorry, one more thing. Like the
Okay.
thing that you have to do to defeat Freddy is to basically not sleep, and that's just a part of our daily routine. You need to sleep. You will fall asleep eventually. And I love how like in some of the later movies when they know they need to stay awake, but it gets to that point where you start being able to play with that idea of sleep, where like you're falling asleep with your eyes open, or you're falling asleep. And you don't even know that you did fall asleep because of how sleep deprived you are. So that's another element of Freddy's horror that I think makes him such a great villain.
So everyone considers A right. I like how you put Freddy right in front of Jason. I should not have given Leonard power.
I think that
Um,
smack talk that he does puts him ahead of Jason. Because
Plus, he has more
Really?
memorable
Oh,
kills.
yeah, and I kind of like
I
his
don't know. Jason's
backstory a
more of
little
a
bit
good
more.
guy.
But she turned Johnny Depp into a freaking
Like
Dude.
when it
Geyser
was
of
Freddy
blood.
versus Jason, when it was Freddy versus Jason, who you guys root for? Jason.
No,
Jason's the good guy.
Freddy.
It was
I like
Jason.
I never
Freddy.
saw
You
that
saying Jason's the good? Well, first of all, there's no good guys in that.
I mean, watch it, Leonard. It's a trashy good time. It really is. But absolutely, I was absolutely rooting for Jason the entire time.
No, I was rooting for Freddy.
Jason
And
was
I'm
just
like-
chilling, bro. He was just chilling, and then Freddy had to go and get him out of where he was. You know, like
And, like,
Jason was fine. He was just chilling. He asked for it. He asked for that ass whooping. Now you gotta take it like a man.
and now Freddy's a pedophile as of the new movie.
I didn't see
Apparently,
that.
Yeah, that was trash, bro. That
Yeah.
that remake was trash.
That's what I
Holy
heard
mama,
about
dude!
that
Not
too.
even the actors wanted to promote that movie. Like that was bad, bro.
How
You
long
had
ago
a
did that movie
great
come out?
idea.
First 7 are good.
Yeah, but
The
actually,
last movie?
if we're talking about remakes, the most recent Friday the 13th remake was not bad. It was
remake?
very
yeah, it was pretty good.
it was pretty good. I'm really surprised that they didn't make more because like it was pretty good. I'm really surprised they didn't do as well as they did. But that remake, I think I would have preferred a movie like that as the first Friday the 13th rather than the first Friday the 13th we ever had.
And then I do want to say it's now canon that Jason does have teleportation powers.
He does.
How is
because
that
of the video
canon?
game.
Oh, the video
No,
game?
because of the video game. Yeah.
That's dope.
Oh
That
no.
was a good game though.
Hey kids, want to be able to teleport? Just drown in a lake.
All right. He does. I'll give it to Freddy
Big
for
ass
being A
fucking
rank.
lid.
That's why the other ranks were there, Leonard. All right. So starting from the bottom, we're gonna go Terrifier.
Ooh.
No,
Hey,
that's not Terrifier.
No,
That's
that's
from
Yeah, just,
that's
oh,
Captain
that's from
Spaulding.
House of 1,000.
Tutti fucking fruity.
I never
That's
seen.
all I remember he said.
I saw. I
That's
think only
the-
the first one. Or-
I don't.
Yeah, I
haven't seen Rob
definitely
Zombie.
I saw pretty much every movie having to do with this guy. And I don't understand why. I think what for me watching Rob Zombie movies is like a guilty pleasure of mine. I know for a fact none of them are gonna be that good. But for what they entail for like the type of terror, the undertones of violence, I will say, for the YouTube algorithm, is still there, and it's also very horrendous. So I think a lot of their horror has to do with something that is kind of real in a way, because you do know how animalistic some people can be. So I think that's where most of the true horror comes from.
Mhm.
But in House of 1,000 Corpse, and this guy in particular, like it's taken to like 1,000% over that. So it is absolute. I don't say, for me personally, I don't believe it's A,
Same.
but it's
Um,
definitely in the realm of like a horrible character in the sense of like a bad villain. This is a bad dude. So I think for me personally, I think that one's B. That's me though. I don't
I'd
know
say
what
B
you
also.
I never seen it. Comment.
I don't have any input into it, as I told you. For some reason, my parents wouldn't let me watch it. I'm guessing it's a lot of gore. There's
Oh,
a
yeah.
lot of gore.
It's a lot of gore, a lot of nudity,
That's just Rob Zombie, Eli.
Mhm.
a
Yeah,
lot
okay.
of S undertones, like I said before. And a lot of I can't remember the exact word for it, but just a lot to do with the dead bodies. I guess I'll leave it at that. Like dead bodies already everywhere, and then doing things to those dead bodies is where I'll probably leave it at.
Oh, okay.
Actually, so like when I was looking around for like horror movie villains, I didn't see Captain Spaulding mentioned that much. To be honest, like he just came into my mind after I was looking. All I remember is his family as a
Mhm.
whole being mentioned once. And that's about it
Yeah.
when I was looking for horror movie villains.
Yeah, because this guy's got a lot of charisma.
What the fuck, Eli?
This dude's got a lot of charisma.
He's a
In what
showman.
he does. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I understand like him not being mentioned all that much, because really I would say like him as Captain Spaulding isn't as prevalent. But he does have a little more character. You get to see a little more of his character in The Devil's Rejects. But you
Okay.
don't
Oh,
get to see
that's
him
the
as
one I saw. Oh yeah.
yeah, but you don't get to see him as Captain Spaulding though. So it's more of him as the character itself. But definitely before that, like the House of a Thousand Corpse movies was more of like his time to shine.
Okay. I'll give it the B rank. I
Um,
think that's fair. Do the from the very bottom.
what the fuck is
We're gonna
this?
go from
All
the
right, we
bottom.
got an old lady here.
Oh, lady. All right. So I saw this one.
Is that the
So there's some.
Oh,
Hereditary?
that's It Follows, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It's from It
Oh,
Follows.
okay.
So
I fucking hate
this
that
is
movie.
called this is called the Entity.
That movie
Not
is
to be
trash.
confused with the Entity. Really, you didn't like it?
I thought it was good.
I thought it was fine.
Yeah.
Um,
It's so boring.
it was like from what people told me and when I watched it. I think people overhyped too much where I was like, this wasn't that like amazing. Where I put like this is the best horror movies, but it was still entertaining.
It was enjoyable.
But like maybe it just got rise in popularity because I kept seeing It Follows or The Entity as like a horror movie villain. I was like,
No,
it
it's
doesn't
just
have a
STD.
face. But yeah, this is the most dangerous STD. Here.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, I forgot about that part of the movie.
That's
Oh,
But
fucking.
I think for me, I really liked this movie because it was something that was newer around this time. And it absolutely in the way that Leonard says it's boring, yeah, it is. There's no real gore. There's no gore, there's no action, there's no likable characters, but the concept and the way they did the Entity was well done. Like to just have this thing that follows you is and that's all it does in this very slow speed is it's interesting because that just means that you can play around with that concept a little bit. And so I thought it was pretty well done, the movie, for what it had. And I don't think that I would probably put this like as a B tier for me in the horror icons,
probably
but
I'll give it
definitely
low
higher
speed.
than Soft. But I
It's not
thought it
the
was
worst.
I thought it was something good that you could do. And I wish that they explored that lore a little bit, but I think that's what helps make the movie a little more interesting because it's kind of more up to interpretation. So I think for me, I think that one's a C.
Yeah, I probably would have seen
Alright.
too. I did like it.
It's having
Yeah.
fucking list.
You know
Yeah,
what?
but when Leonard said it was boring, yeah, I remember thinking that too because there was literally nothing interesting about it other than the actual concept itself. Like it had that, and they had to do that as well as they could because there was,
I'm
like
just
I
gonna
said, no action,
Or
no
thrill
action, no
either.
gory kills, no
I'm
nothing.
just
It
gonna
was just
follow
that.
Leonard around and see if he gets scared. I'm just gonna follow him everywhere. He'll be freaking out.
um,
See if he thinks it's boring.
so from
Oh,
what you told me, like the characters being unlikable, I feel like that's true because the only thing I remember from the movie is the Entity. I can't remember because I can say that
Yeah.
none of the characters were memorable. It was
Yeah,
just the
they
whole.
weren't really. I mean, and then it turned into like this: should I sleep with you so that I can take the thing away from you? And it was
Yeah.
just like, yeah, do it. But like, there's nothing really redeemable about the characters. Like, they didn't do the characters well. There's no like final showdown. Nothing. Just well,
Yeah,
there
it's
kind of
like
is a little bit of a final showdown, but it's not that well done.
When did
The
this movie come
best,
out?
like back like in
20,
2015,
I feel like this was a new
2013.
genre for like horror movies because
Yeah,
I mean
it was
the
around that
80s
time
or like
period where like
80s.
2014.
2014. Damn.
2014, yeah. So
So I
it was
think
around this time period where like there was like a lot of fatigue from
has
like the
a
like just
gory
slasher
slashers, yeah.
or gory being chased by a killer type thing. Like it was all, obviously it's all overdone. And just how original can you make it? But this one was just like a different take on horror, which was pretty good. It kind of reminds me of like Smile.
It was
That
Smile,
was done
yeah.
recently. That kind of reminds me of
Yeah.
that concept of like an entity and it does this and that, whatever the case is. So it kind of reminds me of that. So, but in Smile, obviously, there's a little more gore, there's a little more things you can like about it. But It Follows is kind of like one of those like very similar, that genre of just like you don't really know what's coming for you, but it's there.
All
It
right.
was refreshing.
next one. I think C rank is best for it follows.
Dracula.
Yeah,
But
we're
yeah,
going
so
old
this
school.
one is I
You
just
should
like
put
give
Adam
like a
Sandler's
little bit.
Dracula.
or
Blah blah blah.
I was gonna download him, stick him in here, but
now Nicolas Cage's Dracula. I
Oh,
believe
Oh
now.
yeah.
Yeah, so I put Nosferatu, Count Dracula. I know he has another
Twilight.
name.
I've never seen a Dracula movie ever.
And so we're speaking on like just the classic idea of Dracula, correct? Not
From what
not
you
like
know.
a
No
particular
vampires.
person, right?
Yeah, I mean, so I can't mention anything about Dracula because I haven't watched any films. I watched a few clips, and he definitely has that sinister tone from back in the black and white. But I really want to talk about just the presence of the inspiration coming from Dracula.
The lore.
I think Dracula's lore is probably just one of those things it's just so classic. I mean, this is something that's been going on since like the 30s, I believe, maybe even earlier than that, in terms of like storytelling. But I mean, it's just such a classic lore. It's something that's still being talked about today. In some horror movies now, like the most recent one, it was the last voyage of
Yeah.
something that just came out.
Oh,
I can't remember. I didn't see it, but I
Yeah.
heard that it was pretty good, and it really focused on like the monster aspect of
the
Dracula.
mentor or something.
Mhm.
Yeah. So I think that there's so many different tales you can tell of Dracula, especially like, I mean, I'll even say the underworld did okay in like storytelling vampires. I thought that lore was actually pretty interesting for a little while. But I think I cannot, for me at least, like there hasn't been very good Draculas, I would say. There's been good vampire stories, but I cannot remember a good Dracula story
I saw the one with
in recent times.
Keanu Reeves. That one was pretty old.
Yeah, that was pretty old.
Yeah.
But I can't really, for me, reference like a good Dracula story. So for me, I think I would still put him at B,
Yeah, but
simply because
Yeah,
he's
that's
still
probably
a
the best.
classic being. He's still a
That's-
classic tale, classic being, classic powers. You know the lore, you know the tropes of the garlic, the sunlight, all that stuff.
Mhm.
So you still know all of that, but for me, I just don't think he's as memorable.
Going into
Dracula.
it,
Okay, not memorable. I would okay, memorable is the wrong word, but not as I guess you could
Iconic?
I don't
say
know.
iconic.
iconic.
He is iconic though.
Yeah.
It's not really a
Wait,
slasher. though.
He is. He
Um,
is.
I think the best word is relevant, because so the thing about
Oh,
Dracula
yeah.
is that if they were to make a modern film Dracula, I don't think it'd be as good. Given that like he's just a man with fangs, so they gotta give him something else. Like that's why in the last voyage of Demeter, he looks like a huge monster, like a huge bat creature. And like clearly, I just don't think a man with fangs will do like very horrific.
I feel
know?
like Hollywood made him too cartoony. Like they
That's the
made
other
fun
thing
of him.
too.
They poked so much fun at him, and they're like, "Oh, let's make him like a dad. Let's make him run a hotel or
Okay,
something,
yeah.
or
Yeah.
goofy." So I think they just ruined his image. But he is iconic. He's like the OG. Him
We're
and
soon gonna get
Frankenstein.
Jason. We're sooner gonna get just wait a while. We'll probably get Jason Voorhees as a dad.
Probably.
But yeah. Let's move on to the next one. Letter, if you can get the last one.
Oh, fucking hate this motherfucker. I hate this movie.
Which one?
I hated that movie.
So I actually didn't get a chance to see Babadook.
Save
Lucky
yourself.
you.
Don't even watch
I
it.
didn't. I didn't. So I was like, this looks stupid. Like a child's drawing is coming to life, or I don't know the story about
No, it's the child ruins the movie for me, honestly.
it.
The child, yeah, the child does, yeah.
The
He's
memes
not
are funny
that-
though.
I get it, but it's too much.
But I think the movie, after
alright.
watching the movie the second time, I think I liked it a little better, because I think when I first watched it, I was expecting too much. Because everybody definitely overplayed or overhyped this movie. So on my second watch through, it was like years later, and this is probably to me now. I think I would appreciate the movie a little more because it kind of dives deeper into mental health, mental instability.
I would stick
It
with It
really,
Follows as far as themes go.
Yeah, I
yeah.
would see it.
So
Is
I
he a
think
ghost? Why does he look like that?
the
It's just a
Babadook is
drawing.
more like a story.
Yeah,
Okay.
and the
That does
monster.
come to life,
Yeah,
You never
and it
see him though.
yeah, you do.
yeah, you never see him, but the point of like the story is that it preys on the grief of the mother. So that's really like the premise of the movie on the second watch through that I noticed that it preys on the entirety of the grief. It goes through the 5 stages of grief, and it follows that with the mother, and it gets progressively stronger as her grief gets worse, and also her child is a victim of that grief too. So it gets you in a different spot rather than just a horror movie. And it kind of turns into real life horror, which is dealing with grief and having a child, and it goes different in a different route. So, but definitely for me, the Babadook,
I put it in.
it's not a good character for me.
I put it in.
I think that one
I
is
say
soft.
C.
That was
For me, I
soft.
say soft. I say it's soft.
Oh, I thought we were using soft, gummy, and crunchy as the same thing. Like, oh, I
Yeah.
guess. Like
Nah,
at the end,
Babadook
we
to me,
pick the worst one.
I think
Yeah.
it's a soft character, but the movie, I think itself is a little better than what people.
I don't like to
is what
think when I
people
watch
say.
movies.
Do you guys want to save soft gummy for one?
I thought we were
The
saving
trash is
soft
the
gummy.
trash.
Yeah.
We're
I
saying we're
wouldn't.
saving soft for at the last, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
And
Okay, so
crunchy.
then put it at
For
C.
for the worst
So
of
put
the
it at C.
worst.
But for me, I think that one's the softest. But we'll
The
see.
softest. Okay.
We'll see who else
As
we
that
got.
what we've seen so far, yeah. That we've seen so far, yeah. We'll see.
what the fuck is this, Levi?
Let me see.
I don't fucking know what this is.
Just go and put it on there.
Okay, I gotta find it.
I can't see, so I'm gonna be surprised.
What is this?
What the fuck is that?
Oh,
Can you
the
zoom in?
Death Angel.
Oh, yeah.
I
Death
got it
Angels now relevant. So they're called Death Angels. I looked that up. Do they ever call that the Death Angel in the movie?
I don't remember calling
This is
him a
from-
I
name.
don't think they call them in the movie. They just call
Yeah.
them whatever things, aliens. They
How's
literally
it
call them
from?
anything else but Death Angel.
I didn't
Yeah,
even know
that's
that
what
was a
they're
name.
called.
What is
Yeah,
it from?
that's what.
Who knows?
Quiet-
Maybe.
No,
Then
wait,
again, they don't
Quiet
say
Place.
shit in that
A Quiet
movie.
Place,
So
yeah.
they don't say shit in that movie anyway. So who knows? Maybe they did say it and I just didn't hear it.
What's it from?
A
Quiet
Quiet
Place.
Place.
Quiet Place.
Oh, that one. Oh,
When
oh.
the other characters just literally just talk like that.
Yeah.
Like,
Okay, I remember
they
now.
just talk
Alright.
so soft.
I've only seen the second
Like
one.
it's like it is like did y'all see those movies in the theater by any chance?
I did the second one.
No, I didn't. I watched it in
Okay,
at
I don't
home.
know about the second one because in the second one there's a little more talking, but
Yeah.
in the first one I saw in the theater and it was uncomfortably silent because y'all know how silent that movie is, right? Like all you can hear in that theater was just like people chewing on their popcorn. I can hear someone chewing on their popcorn from 2 rows away, dude. It was so uncomfortable. It was just so deathly quiet in the theater. And it was kind of weird because like usually in the theaters I'm used to like getting my ears blasted from like any little thing, like especially like the most recent movie I want to saw is Evil Dead Rise in the theater, and that blasted my ears. That was such a loud movie for no reason in a horror sense, but that movie, the first one, was so uncomfortable to see in the theaters because you could just hear people munching and drinking their drinks.
That's yeah. I watched it at home. I like the movies. What's his name? John. Not
Krasinski.
John. Yeah, Krasinski. He does a really amazing job in the first one.
Mhm.
Second one was pretty good. I still would put first one over second one. But I think Death Angel. Death Angel looks a little bit too much like a Demogorgon.
Yeah,
I
that's what I
feel
thought
like-
it was at first. I was like,
I feel like I don't think he has that much of a presence, but I can't see it there. So I think it's just relevant to right now, but I don't think it's gonna stand the test
Yeah.
of horror villain
I
time.
say C.
That's what I'm saying. See,
Me as
Because
well.
he doesn't have any.
it's not a bad movie,
No.
but like,
It's not
And
a,
also,
yeah,
like-
it's not a. Go ahead.
oh, I was gonna say, and it's I want to say that. So in this movie, the monsters are like basically turn the world into apocalypse. But I think they're fairly easy to kill. Like now it's turned into like now they get weakened by frequency and stuff like that.
Yeah, the high
So
frequency.
I don't even think they're like as like that. What's it problematic?
Yeah, I think that once humanity learns how to defeat them, yeah, they'll be relatively easy to kill, like you said.
Mhm.
But I think for what they already accomplished is pretty damn good. They wiped most of the population of the earth, including animals. So I think that shouldn't be something like to scoff at. But I think for sure, like I do understand, like they will not withstand the test of time, and I don't believe that there's much else you can do with them other than just being a monster flick. So I
Mhm.
do think that for right now, especially because it's so young, I guess you could say in the horror genre, um, definitely for right now a C, for sure,
Yeah.
a C for now, because we don't know if they're gonna continue to build upon this race of alien.
Go ahead
Levi,
and
can
show
you
off the
click
next
that
one.
red X, Levi?
The red X.
The red bar on your screen. Just press the X.
Oh, at the
On the
top.
Yep.
Oh,
you can zoom in a little
Okay.
bit more. Next, we got this dude.
Oh,
oh,
Terrifier. Yeah. I figured that you guys got me out Terrifier. I
I
haven't
haven't seen it either.
seen the movie.
you
I
haven't
think
seen
this is
them?
like very I think it's like a low budget
Oh
clown
man,
movie.
dude, I can't
Just
believe
the
you haven't
gore.
seen this one, but you added them. Oh my god.
I know it's
Yeah,
pretty
well that's
violent.
the
So
Okay,
I was trying to look for
so
obscure stuff.
I've
Like
seen
oh
I've seen every installment that Terrifier has been on, including All Hallows Eve, which was an anthropology film, and it was actually originally what Halloween was supposed to be, the Michael Myers movie. It was
okay,
supposed
yeah.
to be an anthropology about just a sequence of different Halloween tales. So this movie, All Hallows Eve, had like this different stories, different scenarios that happened on Halloween, and this guy was on one of them. But he was so popular from that they decided to do a movie about him, and it had super low budget. Super low budget. I believe it was even like um fan raised the budget, and they made Terrifier 1. Super low budget movie. But
I think I remember
man, it
that
was,
All Hallows Eve.
yeah,
I think I
it
remember
was
All Hallows Eve. Yeah.
yeah. So when they made Terrifier 1, dude, oh my god, it's super gory. Like it's got like this genre of horror attached to it. Um and it goes into like just like this horror, not horror, I'm sorry, gory
just
fest
gore.
of just, yeah, it's just crazy gore. Like that's like a shock factor to it.
Mm.
And then and in part 2 it just umps the ante a little more because they got way more budget. So
Is he
this
just
character, huh?
is he just a clown?
We don't really know, but we know that there is something supernatural about him
Did he just
after
die
the
and
Oh,
come
second
back?
one. Kinda in the second one. But they really did not explain much about it, which I think is good. Because now they're coming up with part 3 now, and that should kind of answer questions. At least we're hoping. But I think this character, dude, is definitely, depending on part 3, I think he has a lot of potential to get up to A. But for right now, I'm
really?
putting this character at B. Yeah, like
B?
if
Damn.
this third film is just as good as the last two, then he's definitely going to be like an icon for Halloween.
Especially
But for
Wow.
right
in the
now,
gore scene, yeah, especially.
yeah, like people who love gore, like just to love gore, they love these movies. But for right now, for me, at least from what I've seen, B. Um,
Wow.
I
Wow, I thought
think
this was like a throwaway villain. Like I thought this guy was
no,
like
no,
cheesy.
dude,
Like
he's just
like
low
this
key.
dude, no, bro, this dude is it.
The
Or the
menace.
creators of the Terrifier have done very well for what low budget they have and storytelling that they can do. Like the first one is we thought the first one was gonna be a one and done, but when they got the budget to do a part 2, it did very well and released in select theaters because of like the gore factor for it. Also the movie's like 2 hours. Super weird to see a 2 hour horror movie, but I think that was just kind of like there's a lot more dialogue than what you needed, quite honestly. But that doesn't take away from the movie at all, at least for me. But this character for me, if part 3 does just as well, if not better, then definitely A for me.
Okay, cool.
I would highly
Uh,
recommend those movies if you got the stomach for it.
I might give it a try. I like, I don't know.
I think
I like
Terrifier
the Saw
2.
movies. I like the Saw
No,
movies.
this is turned
No,
up.
Saw's baby
Saw's
shit
not
compared
gory.
to what this, bro.
Yeah.
Saw baby shit. Okay.
It's baby shit compared to what you're gonna see, dude. Like that's just
Yeah.
like cutaways and like you don't really see there's no practical effects
The
really.
gore genre
This
shows
one,
you everything.
yeah, and that's the other thing too, that there's a lot of practical effects because they don't got budget. They don't got budget to show you CGI stuff, so it's all like old style, The Thing, Carpenter, The Blob type, from the 1980s Blob that just has like this practical effects and it just looks so real because it actually is real, but it does a lot of that shock factor gore. So if you have the stomach for it, I would recommend it.
Okay. Next one, Leonard.
1 second. Oh, it's not what I wanted to do, but okay. What the fuck? I think I froze. What we got next? Oh my god.
I like how we get like a little prediction into how Leonard feels about the character.
I
And
know.
every time he goes
Yeah,
and
like
guesses
we
it-
don't get nothing. And then like
Oh
I hate
my.
and then like when when Leonard's like I hate this movie, I'm like, oh, I actually like that one.
All right, I'm back in. Okay. Oh, speaking of Saw.
Okay, so
Oh man, you should have done the backwards cap one, dude. You do, fellow kids.
so I have him and Jigsaw. Do you guys just want to count them as the same person?
What do you mean? Yeah, it's different.
I mean, yeah, he
I
kind
mean-
of created them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, when we get to Billy, the puppet, we'll just skip him. Since
I mean,
it's the same
you kind of
person.
could have done like you could technically do both of them in the same place, I guess.
Okay. But Kramer, John Kramer, a little bit vengeful. Very what's the word? Dramatic about some of his things. Like, I think it's just getting to the point where I can't believe there hasn't been a parody of it. Like, all right, mailman, you delivered my package 3 days late. Now you have to test this time. Now you're on my time.
I saw you jaywalking the other day.
Now you have to walk
Time to
across
see how you-
traffic.
To see how you do without your legs.
We just had a Saw X reaction, so
Did y'all see the movie yet?
No.
I haven't seen the movie yet. I
Hmm.
have I have like, yeah, I haven't seen it yet. I do want to go see it.
I would recommend seeing it.
It was really good.
I'm not gonna say it was astronomically good. Doesn't scream
I'll be right back.
box office gonna be the #1 movie.
Mhm.
But I will say that from the garbage we've gotten from from Saw the past few years, this is a very good movie.
I thought the last one, Chris Rock, was amazing.
Okay, I'm not gonna say that was. It doesn't really have to do with this type of Saw stuff, although it is a Saw from the book of Saw.
Yeah.
But I will say, in terms of like the lineage of John Kramer movies, this one does very well. Especially, I love the fact that they just focused in on John Kramer. Because already like even before seeing that movie, I was gonna keep him at A, because I think John Kramer is just such a memorable character. Like he's just like got that essence, like Freddy Krueger only in the movie for 6 minutes, or Anthony Hopkins that was Hannibal for like 15 minutes of the entire movie. John Kramer kind of does the same thing in some of those movies because he's only in it for a little bit, but he's just so methodical, so precise, so just calculating in every decision he does. And I think that it does so well for him as a character.
He does a
And I
really good
think,
job when he's on screen.
yeah, he does a very good job on screen. And I think that he's always deserved A, but after seeing the movie recently that really does focus on John Kramer, it even keeps him at A for me,
Oh, even
because it just does very well.
solidifies the
'Cause
fact.
it's very focused on John Kramer in that movie, and you kind of get to see why his his teachings started to get askew because of this movie. Because like eventually you do start to realize that John Kramer just was just putting people in there for whatever the fuck they did, but you really get to see why he started doing that from this movie, like why things started to
Okay.
change.
Um,
So I think they
fine.
did pretty well in explaining that. But definitely his views, like as a viewer, you see it kind of just flip. Like do you really think you're helping people, or are you doing this to get revenge on somebody? Like, would you actually help this person if they actually got out of this trap? And like you get to see him care about people in this movie, like even though they did him wrong. Like if they do survive their trap, like he does try to help them. So I think that does some justice for John Kramer as a character. So I think it just solidifies me as keeping him
Yeah.
as this A tier character.
One thing I do want to add is that he is also relevant in the series. They even though he died in the third movie, he's
Yeah.
still relevant throughout the whole series, appearing in flashbacks, and they always mention him like, "Oh, this is a copycat killer of Jigsaw."
Mhm.
So he still has that relevance. And they also show that you can't mess with John Kramer because they show whatever type of betrayal was going on. He knew about it. He's like, I'm 10 steps behind you. Um, so I always love that about the character. Um, with 10 films, like I think that's A material right there. And I want to say that, like, even though there's some bad films, I think the franchise as a whole still stands as a very
Mhm.
great horror movie genre.
All right.
Next one, Leonard.
You have this guy on here. I mean,
Same thing.
we could, yeah, same thing. Small puppet.
well,
Perfect.
I'm replacing that one with one I just added.
One you just added.
Oh my god.
All right. I didn't get to see the movie yet. I heard it was trash. Man, it was just
Absolutely.
definitely. I heard that was just definitely. I heard that was just like the wow factor of Winnie the Pooh killing people.
But man, this is kind of like a couch party movie. Like you just invite
Yeah.
some people over. It's Halloween time. You got to throw something on in the background.
You want some
This is
Netflix
a
and
good
chill?
movie.
Put on this.
This is a movie you just put on in the background, bro. And people
Did
will
you have
just
fun watching it, Joe?
slowly start like people will just slowly start paying attention to it. Like, what the fuck is going on over there? You know what I mean? Like it's it's definitely a trash watch, but god damn, is this such a good concept of a movie? Like why does this also exist in our
Did you
universe
have
where you
fun
have
watching
Freddy
it, John?
versus Jason and now Winnie the Pooh? I didn't have a lot of fun, but it is interesting to just see this. It's an interesting just what in the world am I watching? But why can't I stop watching it?
Does he at least
Type thing.
talk?
And now he does. He does at the
He
very
does.
end.
Okay. Okay. Christopher
It
Robin.
doesn't say anything during like the movie, but
Uh,
I'll spoil and he says that he does say something towards the end.
Doesn't Piglet also come out? Or was
Yeah,
that?
yeah.
Piglet's also there.
Yeah.
He's killing all these things with Piglet. And I don't know if you guys know this, but there's actually a part 2 coming out soon.
No way.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they
That's
they like doubled their budget or quadrupled their budget or
What?
something. Yeah,
Wow.
they're getting a lot of budget compared to what they started with. They're getting a part 2.
I'm gonna give it C tier.
But
Like
Yeah.
SD.
they're parading off of Winnie the Pooh, so of course there's that relevance and that popularity onto it. But like, this is just a bear mask. You can make anything a scary movie.
Ooh.
Annabelle C tier. I fucking hated this movie.
All right.
What?
There's
I hated this movie.
there's two Annabelle movies. The first one is absolute fucking trash, and I haven't seen the second one. So
So is it it's not Creation, right? Not the first one. Or are you talking about Creation as the good one?
I haven't seen the second one. There's one that came out after The Conjuring. That one was terrible.
You didn't like
can't
it? I
remember
thought
which
it was
one
pretty good.
When they're in the house, no,
Yeah.
that one was,
With all the
The
girls.
first-
She
in the
comes
house?
running.
I think so.
No, that's the
first
second
Annabelle
one,
came out-
isn't it?
Let me see.
I
The
can't
first
The
remember.
Annabelle
second
came-
one is where they move into
The
that
one-
house. And
The one where they're in the apartment complex.
That one is trash. I think.
that's the first
Yeah,
one.
that one's trash.
Yeah.
What?
But the one
There's
I
three
think
of
the
them.
one where they
What the
created
hell?
the doll,
There's three.
Annabelle
There's
Creation
three.
That's the
is
second
not
one.
as bad. I'm not gonna say it's great, but I'll say it's not as bad.
There's 3 movies. I did not know there's 3 Annabelle movies.
Yeah.
There's Annabelle from the 2014. I thought that was terrible. Annabelle Creation 2017 and Annabelle Comes Home 2019.
You guys
Annabelle
think too
Creation
much when
is
you watch
not as
scary
bad.
movies.
I
Annabelle
hate
Creation
Annabelle
is
so
not
much.
as bad. Although, but this character, no, okay. Are we talking about the demon that possesses Annabelle, or are we talking about Annabelle? Because it's technically the same thing, I guess. I just answered
Same
one question.
thing.
C tier. It doesn't matter.
C tier.
I hate.
C tier.
You
Tell
think
me.
that's scary?
I
That-
would put
they
it B
changed-
tier just because it's like one of the new age kind of like horror.
Oh man.
I say C.
Okay.
I
guess
I got
outvoted.
I think. I think
Okay,
I
look at your
outvoted
C tier right now, and do you think Annabelle did better than these?
Yeah.
Oni.
Most of these movies
Yeah.
didn't get any sequel. Well, the only sequel one that got was A Quiet Place, but
Quiet
all the other
Place.
ones.
Okay. Dude, okay. I don't know. It's hard for me because
mean-
I do not like the majority of these movies.
Annabelle. Oh,
You're forgetting one major one. Levi.
so which one?
I'll stick him in here because you forgot. him.
Okay.
Oh, he's right there. Never mind. I see him.
Okay.
Um,
And so Annabelle was.
It's hard. For me, it's
Like-
hard. This is a hard one for me.
I'm
I'll
also
say
gonna
C.
fight back.
if you guys want to put C, you can put C. But
Give me your argument for B. Give me your argument for B. I
off
want
of
it. I'm ready
popularity,
for the smoke.
just
give me the argument.
popularity and the amount of. I guess it did take some credit off of The Conjuring because I think The Conjuring is one of my favorites.
I love
Yeah,
the first
those-
Conjuring
I mean,
movie.
yeah, those were good
Yeah.
movies, but like anything else that came after that's not that great. I was excited for La Llorona, bro. You have no idea how excited I was for La Llorona. Just for it to fall on its fucking face the way it did. Oh,
I knew it was gonna fall on its face though. I mean, they weren't gonna make that a good movie. It was gonna be just
they showed up.
weirdness.
Such a wide market. It's like what?
Yeah, but
Bro, it's such a there's such a huge population to make that movie successful. It's like hot Cheetos all over again, bro. There was such a hot market for hot Cheetos and it blew up because of Latinos, bro. La Llorona would have been single-handedly one of the most successful films if it was good.
if it was good.
I'll
And
make
I
a
also
good
like
one.
the fact that,
We've
like,
been hearing about La Llorona since we were in grade school, bro. It
But
would
it's
have been
tough
a
when
great
they
one.
try to when like Hollywood tries to, I guess, make it cinematic. They just lose some of its.
I'll make it cinematic. We'll sit down and write it down.
It could have been done. It could have been
It
done.
could have been
It has-
done, but
It could
it's
have been
very
done.
tough.
It could have been done, bro.
We'll do it, John.
Annabelle C tier for me. That's all I'll say.
Let's
I
get a
think
real,
based off of
let's
just
get a
off
real
of
doll up in
popularity.
See, that's the doll. That's the best doll right there. There ain't no
Yeah.
other better doll. There's another doll on this list.
Either way, I
Right,
just
this-
see it right now. I was looking for her.
This is the best doll right here. No questions.
Yeah, I would
I
agree
think-
that's the best doll, but it's tough because
I don't know, man. There's Puppet
They're just-
Masters.
Oh
I'm just kidding.
yeah,
Listen,
the movies are
Master.
funny.
I didn't add Puppet Master on here to be honest
That's
because
okay.
like Puppet Master has multiple puppets. I don't
Yeah,
I
exactly.
don't-
There's
But,
no like one single villain.
So
Yeah.
it's just an
Always-
automatic
I'll-
A tier.
I would say
this is automatic A tier. Even though
Yeah.
Chucky has fallen into comedy, like
Okay, what was that? I see the
at the very end. Yeah, to see the Chucky. I think he came out with some really good movies lately, and
And-
honestly, I think it really solidifies that.
Did you guys
dog
see the
was
show?
scary.
And he's a shit talker like Freddy.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah, I think he's a
exactly.
better shit talker than Freddy. To be honest,
Yeah, so
with
definitely like one of those characters that's just so memorable. Everything he's done, like especially with the types of kills he has, his mindset as a serial killer. as well. You kind of get like to see that a little bit more than like in Freddy, because like there's like a lot of just camera that is just focused on him that follows him around a lot in the later ones. But it's just fun, like especially like after what part 3, I think he starts getting a little crazy. Especially like Bride of Chucky and Seed of Chucky. Holy mama, like those are just some fun movies just to watch.
um,
But yeah, dude, definitely A tier for me. Even like the new reboot they
Is it the
did with
show?
Aubrey Plaza.
The show?
the AI one.
Not the show.
Oh.
There was a movie that came out with
Oh
Aubrey
yeah.
Plaza.
I haven't
The
That
seen
was
AI
it.
one.
actually not a bad movie either. Like that remake was not as bad as I thought people thought it was gonna be.
I totally.
It was actually a pretty good concept, you know, in terms of like AI and you know what the doll actually is. It's very similar. It took a lot from Megan at the time, which we'll talk about later.
Mm.
Did you watch the other? Did you watch the last 2 actual Chucky films that came out?
There was one in a
Which
big house that I remember.
Yeah, that's what I'm
no,
talking about.
actually, did not see those.
Those
Did not see
those
those.
are
I
really good.
didn't.
Those
I
are
like the one
really
where
good.
they're in the mental institute. Which one was that
I
one?
see. So there's 2 of them. There's one where he's in the big house, and
Uh-huh.
one where he's
It's
in the
called
mental
Cult of
asylum.
Chucky, right?
And there's one like
Yeah,
he's
Cult
a
of Chucky.
AI or something too.
I didn't see the
Yeah, that's the one.
AI
Chuck,
one.
that's the
Child's
one. Audrey
Play.
Plaza. That's the one
Child's
that.
Play was the AI one.
Yeah.
That's the one that.
Which I don't think was that bad of an idea, especially like with like new age now, like how to update that character in a way. So I thought it was pretty
Yeah, that was a
good. I thought
series.
it was a very decent idea.
I recently watched the first film, like maybe a month ago or something like that, and it still holds up. It is still scary. Like
Mhm.
it is still very good.
Hey,
His name is Charles Lee Ray.
it's time to play, motherfucker. You
Come
listen to
on,
Ice Nine
Chucky.
Kills, John?
What's that?
You listen to Ice Nine Kills?
Yeah, I do.
Fucking love that. That shit's so
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, it is.
All right, let's get these dolls out of the way.
I hate this one so much.
Okay, so speaking
So
of dolls,
I cannot put any opinions because I haven't,
I haven't
seen
seen
that
it
yet.
either.
I've seen only clips,
it's-
but I didn't like it from the clips.
y'all. So none of y'all have seen this movie.
I'm not
Damn.
gonna watch a doll dance in a hallway and be like, "Oh, spooky!"
Bro, it's literally like 10 seconds in the entire film.
Yeah,
It's like,
Oni.
that's like
Just
But,
it
dude,
being
honestly,
in the
okay,
film, I was like,
all-
I'm not.
Okay, dude, but seriously though, like on a serious note, like all horror aside from this movie and like the memes from this movie, like take all the horror away, and there's actually a pretty decent movie in here. Like aside from it being like a January released horror movie, that was supposed to just be trash, there's actually a good movie in here about like grief and like dealing with
more
childhood
thinking.
grief and childhood attachments to like objects after grief and stuff. Like it's very interesting. But even at that, bro, this character as well as Terrifier to me has potential to be up there with horror movie icons.
Is there, since you've
Because
seen
it's such a yeah, I've seen it. It's a very well written character, I think, that they
is there
have
potential
here.
for another sequel? Like, is that?
Yeah, there's already a sequel being worked on now.
Okay, all right.
They said that they were working on a sequel like the weekend after it came out because of how well it did. Because it was a surprising movie, to be honest. It's one of those movies that's released in January. They didn't expect it to do well, but it did very, very well. And so they have actually a pretty good movie aside from just this character in it. Which I think helped the movie. And if they continue following the characters, I think they can do something very well, very similar to what Child's Play did, you know, following the character, wanting that type of formula can work here, especially because like she's, you know, an AI, can control things like in the Wi-Fi and electrical systems and stuff. It's got a lot of potential to do more things, especially because of how much Wi-Fi is around us at all times, how much she can access, because that's what you start to see towards the end of the film.
So it's AI
So I
Chucky?
think,
This is Web3
yeah,
Chucky.
essentially, yeah, which is really weird because that movie came out around this one around the same time, or like the idea for it came out around the
Yeah.
same time. But yeah, so I think that this character has a lot of potential as well. And for me, I think I would put it at B because there's not a lot of
Okay.
gore, there's not a lot of memorable kills, but the character itself is done very well.
Yeah, Annabelle, you're trash.
I was about to say you
Yeah.
putting Megan at B and Annabelle at C.
Hell yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
my god.
Because there's barely anything. No, Annabelle is just a creepy looking doll. That's it.
She's
That is it.
possessed by a
She
demon.
doesn't say nothing. The demon's trash. The demon's a little baby back bitch, if you ask me.
Oh my
Doesn't do
God.
anything right.
You're more
That
scared
that
of a
that
toaster
that
than a
that
demon.
demon has a lower body count than Megan, bro, and she only has one movie.
Have you seen that movie? It's with puppets. It's
I think Megan at least has some personality. Like I've seen her doing like the little head nod, like totally, yeah. But so
Yeah.
like I can
It's funny.
I remember that. I remember that. So
John. What's that movie
I'll
with the
say
puppets,
that.
John? It's
You're
fuck.
not
Is it
talking about.
the
The dude-
Talking about
ventriloquist
Puppet
one?
Master,
No,
right?
they mail. He gets a puppet in the mail, and he goes to like some house. There's like more puppets.
Oh,
and there's like a lake
Dead
and shit.
Silence.
That one, yeah. I
Dead
remember
Silence
that
was
one.
really good.
That was
I
cool.
like that one.
That one's a very good movie. I don't know if y'all remember
I
that.
remember watching that.
The ending
just
was
remembered
shocking,
it.
wasn't it?
Beware the Stare of Mary Shaw. You remember that?
Yeah,
That
that
was-
one. That's the
I
one.
already like the twist at Dead Silence. Dead Silence
Yeah.
had
Yeah, that one's a
good
really
twist.
good movie. That one's a super underrated movie.
So we can do this one by himself, or we can do both versions. But here he is. Back to
Okay,
the
yeah, I
test.
wasn't sure whether to put
Oh.
both versions or just Pennywise. I think Pennywise just as a whole.
Yeah.
I don't think we need both Pennywises.
Mm.
But yeah, Pennywise, I will give him A tier. I really, Pennywise is actually my first horror movie film. I remember bothering my mom at Walmart. She tells the story all the time to her friends that she expected me because I got the VCR tape of it, and I remember begging my mom to buy it, and she thought it was like gonna be a childhood movie or something like that, and she saw it, and she's like, "Do you even know what that is?" Like, yeah, it's an evil clown, and because I think I saw it on TV, and I just really love the story of it. I think even the remake is really well done. To be honest, with the old movie, the old It, I only like watching the one where they're kids.
The first
When
part.
yeah, when they go into the adults, I think it's like super boring. But
Mhm.
I'm glad that they were able to work on it on the remake because both parts of the remake are amazing. Pennywise just has that. So the old version of Pennywise, I think, was played by Scurry, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
He's a little bit laughable. Like he, like aha, aha, aha. I mean, Pennywise always has like a little gimmick. Like in the remake, he has like that stupid dance. But
Yeah.
the fact that he could change into your fears is a really incredible power. And it gives the horror movie a lot. It gives it a lot of flexibility that he could just change everything and warp your surroundings and stuff like that. I forgot what he is. He's not just a clown. He's like some type of
He's a
It's some type of entity that's existed before time.
Yeah.
If I believe even from another multiverse.
some weird
I
shit.
can't
like
I
that.
can't exactly remember the way Stephen King describes him. But
Is
I
he a
have
giant
actually
turtle
read-
or is his enemy a giant turtle?
His enemy's a giant
His-
turtle.
his enemy is a giant turtle from outer
Okay,
space.
yeah.
Ridiculous,
Yeah.
I
So
know.
there's that huge lore as well. There's that huge lore as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah,
Oh,
the Stephen King universe is just this crazy place, and you don't want to live in Maine because you will get effed up if you live in Maine.
you just
Such a random
Like,
state.
to me, I don't care if the crime rate in Maine is probably the safest ever. You will get effed up in Maine if you in the horror.
There's-
If you're in a Stephen King universe.
there's some type of shit going on down
Yeah,
the
exactly,
street.
dude. But I think for me, I think it's gonna be. I'm
It's hard.
honestly, I'm really on the fence for a B for it.
Because in the first one, he's not like intimidating. The second one, he has a bit more
The second one,
intimidation.
he looked so okay. So I have to defend that. So in the A, so back then clowns weren't scary. They were not scary. That's what kids love clowns. That's why Ronald McDonald was in commercials. So that's why in the very first one, you'll want to walk up to Pennywise because he was a clown. That's why it made sense to like stick your hand in the drain and get a balloon from him. So that's why like he wasn't that intimidating in the very first films. In this second one, like he's a lot more terrifying because clowns are now terrifying. But so in the second one, it doesn't make sense for kids to go up to him because he looks batshit scary, like But that's the reason why the two versions differ on terrifying and not terrifying. But once he shows up his teeth, that's why he shows he's actually a predator and not
Yeah.
some joy
But the thing
clown.
of you know what really kills it for me as like this big baddie is always at the end when he turns into this little bitch.
Mhm.
Especially when they start when they realize his weakness is all you have to
Not
do
being afraid.
is believe that he's weak. like like bro, like you cannot tell me that especially from it part 2, the most recent one, when he's just on the floor and he's like, oh no, don't hurt me, like you can't tell me that he is the most intimidated. Like it's really hard for me to put him at A.
Well,
If there was
so the thing,
like if there was S tier and we were putting all these guys at S tier and there was an A tier for just good characters, I would put him there. But since we only have A, B, C, I'm wrestling with it.
well, that's
Because
why he fights against kids. That's why he targets kids. That's why he eats them because they're more prone to fear.
and
When
all
they're
these other
adults,
guys, they don't give a fuck. Like
Yeah,
they're
'cause
just
they're
gonna kill
that
you.
is
they're
true.
You know
scared.
what I
That
mean?
is true.
They ain't scared of adults because they got jobs. You know what I mean? So that's why I'm wrestling with it, dude. So I really want to put him at A, simply because of how much of an impact he's had for like for horror in general. But that's why I'm just like, golly. But
They
the
all
end,
no.
his end in all the movies is always him just begging on the floor for him not
In
to
the
hurt
first
them.
one, he turned into a giant tarantula.
I vote
Like
for B. I'm voting B.
Oni,
But
what
but
do you say, man? You
but
want to jump in
but
on this?
but the thing is that you can imagine him to be a flea, and he's a flea after that. Once you figure it out,
They didn't do that in the first one.
you just
Remake messed
stomp
that
on
up.
him, bro. I know, but that's what I'm saying, dude. Like his weakness is all you have to do is believe what he
Uh,
is, and that's what he will be.
and it's hard to believe. Like
All right, Oni, you're the tiebreaker. A or B?
I want to say A, just to make John angry, but
Ah.
I mean, I would say A. The endings are, but the movies have to end somehow. I mean, it's not like they can keep going on and on and on.
Have
So he has to get defeated. I
you
don't
seen
care if he
the
gets defeated like he's scared or he gets defeated like he's, I don't know. I say A.
I'll just have to say, like, Pennywise is just a glass cannon. You know, once you figure
That's
out
good.
how to beat it, like that's it for him. You know,
And it took them.
I
It
think
took them like what 30 years for them to figure out that that's how they beat
longer
him.
than 30 years because he
but
was like
that's how
the
long he
Puritan
sleeps
time.
for, bro. He sleeps for 30 years at a time. That's the thing.
And like they all left. They were scarred. They were scared of that man. They left Maine and did some shit, and then they all
But
came
they
back.
didn't remember why they left Maine. I don't know if you
No,
remember
they
that. They
knew.
don't remember why.
But that was just
It's
because you get scarred. You don't want to remember
because
that every
it has
day.
this huge power, bro. That's why I'm saying he's a glass cannon, bro, because he has this infinite bowl of just power that he has. He has a power over that city that they don't remember what happens once they leave, or they're convoluted. Like all these kids are dying, all these kids are going missing, but they're not really asking any questions as to why. Like 20 kids go to missing when he's awake at a time, and they're just like, huh, this just Dury Maine or whatever the name it is. And
Derry?
it's but that's Derry Maine, yeah. So it's just Derry Maine. Oh yeah, here we go.
That's
It's
even
hiring
more
again.
scary.
But
I think
but that's the thing, is that he has this power over the town. And that's what I'm saying, is that he's a glass cannon because his powers are infinite into what they can do. But then once you figure out his trope, it's like, okay, I don't have to be scared of you because I don't believe that you're scary anymore. And then he just turns into what they're not scary because that's what he believe, or that's what they believe in. So that's why he has
yeah,
to prey on children, because he can manipulate that.
I'm gonna say if the It film was more of a horror instead of a adventure film, I think I would probably put him in A. But for now, I would keep him in B, just because it isn't a horror film in itself. It's more of the kids growing up and stuff, as compared to like a traditional film like Freddy or something. Because
I'll,
it's
I'll,
honestly not a horror. Like if you look at it, it's not a horror film. It just has
I
a
would say
scary
it was a
villain.
horror.
It
the
is not
first
a horror. I
the
wouldn't call it
fir-
a horror.
the remake is definitely goes into horror a
Yeah,
lot.
because he
It
literally
focuses too
chomps on
much.
kids.
It's in the same aspect as Stranger Things. It's in the
Strangers
same it's
horror.
the same exact story type.
Mm. I'll give it a high B, like above Spalding.
We got him, John.
I can't
Get these
believe you.
fucking clowns in B tier
I
now.
can't believe you folded Levi. Jesus.
Speaking of
I was
clowns,
like, he should have been the main. He should have been up there.
Oh, dude.
Oh,
Another
you
one.
forgot
Killer
this
Clowns
guy,
in
Levi.
Space. I didn't think about him, to be honest.
I just because we were on it, I was like, oh, we just went over these guys in the last video. I haven't seen this movie, but
Um,
it's so silly.
Clear Clowns from Outer Space.
I love this
I
movie.
guess
A tier. Just kidding.
the movie's really good. I
C
like
or
it.
C or B. I'd probably.
It's. I'm gonna go and see. They. I can't even think of all the clowns. Their names on there. I know they have some really
Well, they don't even talk,
basic
dude. They're
names.
just like they just talk like that. Like it's them talking.
They're aliens.
But I'll
I
be
say C
honest with you.
also.
I only know one of their names if I remember right. I think it was Shorty. I
Shorty
think
is
that's like
one.
the green haired
JoJo's
one.
name.
But yeah, so but for me, I would put Killer Clowns at B. For me.
Oh my
But
god.
but I am super biased because
B.
I have loved this movie for a long time. And I thought that they were pretty good. They were very like it's absolutely a trash movie. Don't get me wrong; it's an absolute trash movie. But like the ideas that they did with it, like they took outer space type killing weapons and they turned it into circus theme. They turned it into circus theme killing weapons from outer space. Like you get turned into a cocoon and you get drunk from like a spider, like a spider's drinking you, bro. Like that is such a good idea for a villain. It's insane. Like they
Pennywise
actually
not sharing the same
they
rate
did well
as
thought out.
Killer Clowns from
Yes,
Outer
they
Space.
can.
No.
No.
There's only 3 places, bro.
Yeah,
There's
you
only
kind of
3.
messed up your list with Levi with that.
It's
That's
gotta
why I
be
was
C.
wrestling with it, dude. I explained why I was wrestling with it. You did this to me.
Okay, how about we shift
But
the C tier down to Gummy? More than one Gummy.
how about a meh between C and B? Just put meh.
There you go.
I would definitely put them in meh. But have y'all even seen it? Have y'all even seen this movie?
I've seen a little bit of
Yes,
it.
I've seen it.
People
I've
love it
seen
though.
I've
Yeah, they
seen
what
do
I mean.
love it, but just because
But
people
they
love it
have-
doesn't mean it's like A or B.
Like, I can't give them a horror when the movie's not scary. It's funny.
It's
'cause,
not
like,
scary.
They're doing
Dracula's not
shadow
scary.
puppets.
You saying it isn't scary?
It's not scary. Dracula's not scary
It
either.
is scary. It is scary. I don't
It
know what
is
you're
scary.
talking about.
It Follows isn't
the new
scary.
ones.
That's why it's C.
That's why it's C. It would probably would have been
wasn't
C.
really that scary. It was C. Yeah,
But,
Winnie
all
the
right,
Pooh at C.
I guess it's just stuck on. I'll give it high C. That's the best I can do for.
No, dude.
This
I
one and
think it's
Leprechaun are kind of the same for me.
They just look like clowns. They don't say anything.
They don't need to say any- Jason does not
But
say
that's
a
the
word,
thing. Like
Levi.
they do stuff though. Like the whole movie is just following them doing stuff to people,
and
and it's such a fun time. It's such a fun time just like that's honestly the best part of the movie. Just following the clowns as they terrorize this small town, and that is the best part of the movie. Like
Would
the
you rather watch-
characters, whatever about the characters, whatever about anything else that's written in that movie.
Who
But
has control of this?
following the clowns is so fun.
this is like the same level of like Rotten Tomatoes or that house plant, the giant ivy plant that the human. What's it called? The giant fly trap.
Isn't it Little
Venus
something
Flytrap?
of Horrors or something?
Yeah, there you go. Little
Oh,
Pet
Little
Shop
House of Horrors.
Yeah, Little something Horrors.
And then
Okay, how
or
about
Rotten
this?
Tomatoes.
There, Levi. Are you happy?
I'm
I'm
happy.
even more angry though.
I dropped everyone down a tier just for this one.
Okay, bro,
I cannot believe
just watch it
Annabelle
again.
is.
Just watch it again. Just watch it again, and just think about these movies on the bottom of it. Just think about those
I
movies
don't want to
while
watch
you're
a horror
watching it.
movie and be laughing. I want to be
But that's not.
scared.
But horror is this genre that fits into other subgenres. Like there is campy
Yeah.
horror, there is
Yeah,
gory
but when
horror,
you think of
and
horror, you think
there's an
scary.
entire iceberg for horror films, and this fits into one of them. Like you don't
But
have
they
to just
have to
have
have a little bit of
it's
fear
the
and like.
it's the exact formula that The Conjuring and Insidious has been trying to replicate since they came out with Insidious and Conjuring. Like it's not working, bro. Like you have to do something
They
different.
worked at the
Levi,
beginning, but they
And
just kept
but it's
dragging it
fun
on.
to do something different every once in a while when you have like Killer Clowns from Outer Space
zoom out, Levi.
or
What?
even Megan.
Zoom
Megan
out.
wasn't like this hardcore horror movie, but it was fun to watch. And then you have something like Terrifier that's like super gory. I don't know the exact subgenre that it's called in the horror iceberg, but I mean that's just like a shock
I just
factor
say gore and shock factor. Yeah.
You
Yeah, it gets
whore.
crazy.
Oh my god.
I also gotta give it C tier because there's not one main scary clown. Like they all have names, they all have relevance in the film.
But I think if you're talking about them as a whole, like just following the clowns, like the killer clowns from outer space, I think they're definitely a B.
Well,
Especially
well,
because they've been having like a recent uprising in their popularity again because of the
So-
game coming out that I didn't know
Oh,
was
yeah.
coming out, but you guys told me. And just recently just seeing it in general, like it's still out there. People really like that B style campy horror type movie because it's
Well,
just a
see.
fun time. Like it's not trying to take itself seriously.
okay, we'll see how you
You
feel
also-
after this next one.
He's trying to push forward. Oh, I love the first one, the second one, and third one.
All right, so I'm gonna put him C tier because if Jennifer Aniston can beat the Leprechaun, then yeah, I don't think Leprechaun's a good villain. He is the only one to hold a lightsaber, so that's one thing. But
Oh,
yeah,
yeah. I've seen that. I've seen
That's-
that meme.
yeah. So that's what. But yeah, I'm gonna put him C tier.
I would say C tier. I do love the movie.
I agree. I agree with this because I
Very
can't put him in the same category as it.
He
But
belongs right there
goddamn,
next to
bro.
the killer clown.
Leprechaun. What was it? All Good in the Hood.
There's two in the
Yeah,
hood, isn't there?
in the Hood.
yeah.
Oh my god, that was such a fun movie. Trashy, but such a fun movie.
You know what? I remember the one Jennifer Aniston, the first Leprechaun, was scary to me as a kid. And when I watched it back, I was like, this is really, really dorky. Like they're
Yeah.
all like just like throwing shoes at him and like Jennifer
Yeah,
Aniston's like kid, it's like slapping him and it's just
Yeah.
my god, I got scared about this.
and also, but the only thing that I would say can save him from C tier is the fact that he actually speaks and does well
Hmm.
as like him talking as the character. It's kind of like one of those things like he tried to go for like a little bit of a Freddy vibe, but it just wasn't quite there.
I like
but that's
the
the
He's
only
speaking
thing.
rhymes or something.
yeah, he speaks in rhymes.
That's
Mhm.
tough.
So that's the
Yeah, don't
only
get
thing that I
old.
think can possibly save him from B tier or save him from C tier.
He also has to count the coins if they ever fall. So that's pretty easy
Yeah.
to get away from him. Just drop some
Yeah.
coins and he'll just count them.
All right, let's go finish this. Let's get this classic one out of the way.
Frankenstein monster.
I've never
I
seen
think
a
same thing.
Frankenstein movie. I would say
I
C.
think
This movie.
I mean, well, we put Dracula in B tier, unless you're thinking that he has less relevance than Dracula.
Isn't it more like a tragedy?
I was gonna say real ones know
Yeah.
he's not the monster in that, like, in that book.
Well,
or
yeah,
movie.
he's Frankenstein's monster.
Yeah, I think the Doctor Frankenstein is the bad guy.
I
This is
say
I never read or
I say
You know what?
I say C tier.
What?
I'm gonna
the-
go with that. No wait,
I
I
can't
was
I
gonna
can't
say
put him
C
over
tier as
Dracula.
well. I'm gonna say
I-
C
I
tier
can't-
as well.
I can't see him in the same category as Dracula. Dracula's just got way more storytelling potential, way better character. I mean, Frankenstein, as like we just talked about, it's not actually him. He's the monster that
He's
Frankenstein
still
created.
an icon.
Yes,
Eh,
I believe you,
he's one of the
and I
weaker
and
icons.
Yeah.
but yeah, like there's not
No, I
really
think the
much
mummy's the
to.
weaker icon.
I would prefer the
Uh,
mummy over this
You
dude.
prefer the mummy?
Not
I
the
prefer. I
uh,
think I would put the Mummy in the same one as Frankenstein.
yeah, they're
I'm
not
trying to
very
think if he
scary.
has any like as much inspiration as Dracula. If you maybe you count zombies or stuff that's risen from the dead as
Nah.
Frankenstein, but
No.
I don't know. I feel like that's a whole entirely different thing.
Yeah,
But yeah,
but they're
I
like the
just don't.
creation of him, like the putting him on the table and the electricity and all, like the whole cinematic thing of that is way more iconic, and that's really the only thing that Frankenstein has going from. So I think for me, C.
All right, we got Norman Bates.
Norman Bates.
I tried watching Psycho. That shit was so boring, dude.
Yeah, it's definitely a character piece.
It's too old. It's way
Yeah,
too old.
You guys didn't
It's
watch Bates
very
Motel?
different movie. What's that?
Bates Motel?
No, I actually never saw Bates Motel.
It's that is him though.
That is him, yeah. It was pretty good.
um,
It was real slow though.
How many seasons was in it? I know it was kind of cool.
3 or 4? I can't remember.
Yeah, but I did see all the Psycho
Five
movies though.
season.
5? Damn.
Wow, I didn't know that.
It was real
I do like
slow.
Um,
the. I don't know. I feel like it's too old to.
have you guys seen the one with Charlie and the Chocolate Factory?
That's it. That's the Bates
That's
Motel.
Bates Motel.
Oh, okay, yeah.
How are the movies,
There's
John?
him in it.
Since you've seen them,
mm,
is
it's
it they're
hard
Hitchcock,
because
right?
Yeah, I would say, right?
Hitchcock film. Is he all of them? Did he do all of them?
I get him mixed up with American Psycho.
yeah, that one's a pretty famous movie. That's why,
There's
but
5 psychos.
definitely different ones. Yeah, they get a little weird. I've seen all of them. I really like Norman Bates as a character though, but I can't. I don't know if I could put him at A.
I wouldn't
I
say
wouldn't put him at A.
But definitely one of the most iconic scenes in cinema, the shower curtain scene and the music.
so.
You know what I'm talking about?
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, the shower scene's
So
very. Oh wait, Norman
definitely
Bates is
very
from
iconic.
Psycho.
Yeah, he's the main.
Norman Bates. Yeah. He is from
Yeah.
the Psycho
So
series. I'm thinking about someone else.
Seer.
I
Uh,
definitely not C. I cannot. I would no C. But I think B. I think B
I
has to
think
be
B.
where it's at.
I think B's appropriate for Norman Bates. I'm trying to think of the other one that I'm confusing Norman Bates from.
The guy
There's
Are you
someone
talking
else.
about?
The movie
American
Psycho
Are you
Psycho.
talking about Christian Bale?
Maybe.
from American Psycho.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Hmm,
Uh, let's see, more classics. Is it all of them? I think so.
I think so.
Well, let's make our way back to Stephen King. We got Jack.
Oh shoot!
Jack Nicholson.
God, I love that movie.
He plays it just so well. Like if I saw
Yes,
him on the
Johnny.
street, I would think he was crazy. Just walking on the street.
Have you
But the
seen?
crazy thing is that he looks like a totally normal person in the beginning of the movie.
Yeah.
That's the true
Oh
horror
yeah.
of it all. That he's just like this normal dude,
He
this
kind of looks
normal
like
guy.
Norman Bates in this one.
Yeah,
That's
but that's the true horror of that movie is just seeing the descent of madness.
The regular people can go crazy too.
Hmm.
I feel like Jack Torrance is appropriate for B tier.
I say B.
Yeah.
Like
also.
I know.
Yeah, simply because there's only one installment.
Mhm.
And he just did very well as that character. Another iconic scene as well.
Yeah.
I mean,
Here's
technically, it wasn't one installment.
I mean, no, but him as that
Yeah.
character, him as that character, though. Yeah,
Yeah.
What was the last
Um,
one that came out? Doctor Sleep.
Doctor
Doctor
Sleep.
Sleep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
but I think B is where I land on that.
There should be another Stephen King
yeah, I
character on
got it
there.
right here.
Leonard.
And to round it off, we got the lady from Misery.
Anna Wilkes, I believe is her name.
Ooh.
Anna Wilkes. Do what I want to
I'm-
put her A tier because
I'll just see.
I think Misery is really good, but I think B tier. I think the whole thing of her just trapping someone, breaking their legs, just
Mhm.
like there's definitely might be some crazy fans out there, and just the whole like, no, you can't change the character, you can't make him die. I think I think it's really I think
Yeah,
Have you seen
I
Castle Rock?
no I
Castle
haven't.
Rock.
Castle Rock. Have you seen Castle Rock?
No, have
It
not seen
takes
Castle Rock.
place before. It shows her before she's her.
Oh,
Okay.
It's in the Stephen King universe. It's 2 seasons. I really like it. It's
Mhm.
cool.
Yeah, I've been wanting to see that. But yeah, man,
I didn't
Kathy
know that was
Bates
a
does
thing.
such a good job in that movie.
Hmm.
What do you want?
I
A or
Man,
think
B?
B is fine. I think B
I think
is
B as
fine.
well.
Yeah,
I
she
think it
does.
has to be B.
She doesn't
I feel
outperform
like
Jack.
I think I'll get over Jack. I'll go over Jack.
Are we doing over? What are we doing?
Just A or
Well,
B.
yeah, we'll probably do it later, like
Uh-huh.
because you kind of like rate it for like a left to right on who's better. So we'll probably
Oh,
have
I'm
to go
just
by
been
the rules.
sticking it. I'm going by
I
time.
was gonna say, yeah, he's just going.
Yeah. um,
I have
I
not
think that's the
seen
last.
this next one, but
Oh, dude, this
Ooh.
one gave me
Orphan.
nightmares.
Yes. Yes.
And the twist.
I will give it an A tier, honestly.
Oh, I wouldn't say A, but
Oh, it's hard though. I think if they made one more movie, kind of like the same thing I've
See,
been
the
saying.
thing
didn't they?
is,
They did make him another movie, didn't
No,
they?
no, no, a third one. Like I'm talking about, like since
Oh,
they made
yeah,
two.
third one.
That from the two we've seen already, definitely a B tier.
I would say high B.
I
But I
think
feel like
there's so
there
much
was
potential for
one
this
more.
character. There's so much
There
potential
is.
for this character.
High B.
There
Like,
is, and I really thought that the second movie wasn't gonna hit because she's already an adult. So how are you going to really play that, that same trope of like her being a child? But it works very well. And the twist in that one, because you already know the twist, but the twist in that one was like, what in the world is going on? I don't know if y'all have seen that one, Orphan First Kill.
mm-mm.
I didn't see
I
that.
have not
I would
seen that one.
definitely, if you liked this one, definitely check that one out because it was very, very good. And the twist,
Another
you probably
twist.
not. There's another
Levi.
twist in that movie that you really did not,
Oh yeah.
that you really just do not see coming unless
Dude,
you're
this-
really reading into it.
Jesus, too
But
many.
highly recommend that movie. But I would, for me, absolutely put her in B tier
High B.
because it's already there. Like I probably would have put her at C or soft before, but I think it's very, very good. I think she's it's a very good, well written villain so
Yeah,
far.
very, very
So I
She's a
cold.
think
grower, not a shower.
I'm very comfortable putting her at B. But if they make one more very good movie, I could consider putting her at A.
Like just very, she's very dark. Like I remember, you gotta break the crow's head. Like she like even speaks
Yeah.
like a dope, but no one like notices it. Like very well mannered. Like oh, I don't know. There's so much. I say low.
They just
A,
thought she was
low
from
A
Russia.
tier.
Yeah.
Cha-cha-cha.
It's a low.
Wait, are you
So
gonna move it to B
Spider-Man-
or keep it at
Oh,
A?
is it? Oh, you want A or B?
I say stick.
I gave
with
my
A.
argument. I don't know what you guys think.
I said
haven't
high
seen
B.
Levi, A or B?
I say A. Like I'm fighting for her spot on there. I feel like she has a lot of potential. I feel like the only reason she's not on A tier, the only reason she wouldn't be on A tier is because she doesn't really have that much of a presence because of the lack of movies. But I feel like that was just an injustice. I feel like they just thought maybe the first one was really well done. We don't have to make another one. But
So she's
second
right there
one,
with Terrifier. Then,
mm,
like
That's
I said, John said
Terrifier.
Terrifier. He's on the same tier of breaking through the A.
Yeah, almost there.
Mhm.
All right, we got
I guess almost
Slenderman.
there.
I think is that Slenderman, Levi?
I didn't even
yeah,
see this
Slender
movie.
Man. I heard the movie really sucked, but so I don't know where we're supposed to be doing all
I
of our
haven't
movies.
It's a
seen
wonderful story.
anything Slenderman movie, dude. I've only seen the
lore and stuff
lore of
YouTube.
it, and I
Marble
actually did
Hornets.
see the Marble Hornet.
I
That's
okay.
what I've actually.
How do you
Yeah.
want to do this, Levi?
Yeah.
Because I've never seen Slenderman either. But I love
However,
the
you
Marble
guys,
Hornets and all the
how
lore.
you guys
of
want to do
Slenderman.
it? Because I mean, I would even say that the Tall Man is Slender Man film because I think that's generally supposed to be a Slender Man film before they were able to make a Slender Man film. The Tall Man,
Is that the one with what's her name?
Tall
I
Man.
think
I think
someone.
I thought the
I think that was
Tall Man
another.
and It Follows was the same thing, actually. But
Yeah,
never
it
mind.
literally follows the same thing of like children going missing and all that.
Jessica Biel.
There you go, Jessica Biel.
Okay, yeah.
But yeah, I have seen that movie. But
But
we're talking about actual Slender Man.
yeah,
He himself, I think he's pretty cool, and he's pretty popular with like the Reddit and YouTube community, I guess.
Yeah,
Wasn't
like
there like
internet
an
popular.
actual murder, like in real
Yeah,
life?
those teenage girls.
Yes, there was.
Yeah.
Yeah, there
yes,
was
there
something
was.
having to do with like a real murder, telling, or they said that
There,
Slender Man
Slender
told
Man
him to
told-
I
do
think
it.
they just got sentenced or released.
I
Oh
hope
wow.
sentence not released.
Yeah, that girl just got sentenced to like life or some or a good amount of years, 40 years, 30 years or something.
I would. Oh,
Yeah.
that's tough because this is all over the place. I want to put him
I
at
know.
C, but I keep looking at the clown and the leprechaun, and then Frankenstein. And I'm like, dude, this is all over the place. I don't know where to go.
He has a spot with the internet.
We gotta
culture,
argue
for
your
sure.
your points, Onissimo. Tell me why.
It doesn't
Tell me
matter.
why.
Well, this is
John-
it's just personal.
would
John
say
messed
A.
up the tier list ever since that killer clown.
Dude, that killer clown.
Slenderman has a massive influence,
He does.
He does.
especially from starting on
I would-
creepypasta to everything.
Yeah.
I would
okay,
put him on
yeah.
A.
The fact that you got a movie.
You would put him at A?
Maybe
think
not his
B.
movie, but everything surrounding him. Yeah.
I think B. Like just the fact.
I
Or
would
high
say
B.
high B, just like Orphan and just like Terrifier.
There's a
Maybe
whole.
if he had a good
I
movie,
remember.
he might break
I
the
remember
A.
being afraid of Slender Man because I watched a Slender Man documentary on YouTube. I remember getting afraid about that. Like as everyone heard the fake audio recording, I thought that shit was real when I first heard it.
Yeah, I mean, like even like the
Weren't there games?
what is it, that low end game for Slender Man was like off the
Yeah.
Oh
rails.
yeah, Slender Man the Rival. So you definitely got a lot of pop culture into it. Damn, that's a really tough. That's really tough.
For
He's
me,
everywhere.
trying to put him at what we have at A so far.
Do you want to break the A tier up into S tier?
I think we should have kept it like S and A. Just
Yeah,
so.
because this is too B tier is getting really crowded. I feel like we
Yeah.
can break B tier up.
Well,
between A
It's
and
only because at the
That's-
at the very end we have to pick the crunchiest. So it's like
okay. Whatever we have,
there's
crunchy
only one crunchy,
and
so
then crunchiest.
Or just
Oh,
just
just
put
put
an S
S.
tier.
I was gonna say we could just
Crunchy-
put S like I was
Crunchy's
before.
Crunchy's
No,
gold.
Levi.
That's why there was.
crunchiest is the gold.
That's why there was D and S.
And then salty
too many
crunchy
tiers, Levi.
above
Okay.
that.
I don't know.
That's why it's D and S at the very start.
See,
But
but
you had like 9
I-
tiers.
But I didn't know there's only one crunchy though.
No one did.
I didn't know that.
He
Only
said
Levi
at the
did.
Yeah,
beginning.
it's gold.
He
It's
literally
gold.
Who
I
listens to
didn't know.
Levi?
I didn't know. I didn't know.
That's not how
no,
people
that
do
you had
tier
to
lists,
put
though,
One crunchy.
typically.
Yes, it is. I've
No, it's
seen it
not.
done before.
I don't think
Yes,
that's
I've never
how
seen
they
anyone
do
do
it. This
that,
is
Levi.
the first
You
time.
haven't seen. You
Levi.
don't watch YouTube. You always
You
tell me
Watch
you
too
don't
much
watch
YouTube.
YouTube.
Cut all this out. Cut all this out.
All right, let's start again from the beginning. All right, go intro.
You already have all my ramblings on everybody already.
Ooh,
Hannibal
Hannibal.
I've never seen it.
Hey, where do we put the
Have y'all
last guy?
seen that? Have y'all seen the Hannibal Lecter show?
Mm-mm.
No.
Hannibal.
I haven't.
That's actually a very good watch. The Hannibal Lecter show.
I've never sat down and watched
Very
any of
good
these
watch.
movies.
Yeah,
So I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah.
just like got quiet.
So wait, he was a Nazi, right, or something like that?
I've only seen the Hannibal one. One of
That's
the
the
more
one-
recent ones.
That's the one where he was like a German and he was
Yeah,
like
yeah,
in
yeah,
the
yeah.
army. He was
That's
like
the one I've
killing
seen.
people, and that's where he started like going crazy. Or
I haven't
just
seen
eating
much
people.
Hannibal Lecter media before. I'm gonna say C tier.
I wouldn't put him C tier.
Hannibal Rising is the one I saw. I think that's the one we're talking about. Oni.
Yeah, dude, just the fact that he eats people and he has them like sitting at the table, like that's kind of creepy.
Yeah, I've never seen Red Dragon or Silence of the Lambs or any of
I
that.
saw Silence of the Lambs. I didn't see Red Dragon.
It's more of a thriller, isn't it?
I mean, I think it's in the iceberg that John was talking about with thriller and horror.
No, he's no, because some people say he's still a horror movie villain, and
he eats people.
yeah, he definitely has a kill count.
Well, if you put
Yeah.
American Psycho on here, he belongs on that same list.
Yeah, I put him B. Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, my
B
mic
tier.
was messing up. Nah, A tier in my mind.
A tier.
I don't know
Yeah,
about
I
I
you.
believe
can't.
so.
I can't defend it, but I'm
Yeah,
just
I
saying.
can't
I
defend
believe.
either.
Okay, let me
We
let
need to
me
break this
spit for
up.
y'all real quick. Let me cook for y'all real quick.
How
Don't
intimidating
let
You're
him
would
you're,
you
you're
speak.
putting him
be?
on the
so
same level as Jason.
so yeah, I believe so. As a villain, if we're not talking about iconic like what you see in decorations, what you see in posters. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about like him as the villain, Hannibal. I believe is probably one of the greatest villains of all time. Um, I don't know if you guys have read novels about Hannibal Lecter. I haven't read some of the novels, and he is just a cunning, meticulous, very thought out character that has to do and preys on your psychological weaknesses. So the way that he gets a lot of his kills and where he gets a lot of his prey from is from him being a psychologist. So he preys on people's weaknesses and he can manipulate people in a way that you would not believe. So I think that him as a villain justifies him being an A tier simply because of how brilliant he is as a character. Even when he was in all the movies that you've seen, he is able to manipulate his way out of prison and get out and free. And then in the second movie, Hannibal Lecter, you're just chasing him around trying to figure out what he's going to do. So I think that him as a character is very well thought out, and I think he is an A tier. And then also like he doesn't just eat people, like he doesn't just grab your arm and eat you. Like he's
That's
not
true. He
that kind of
prepares it.
cannibal. He prepares his meals as a five-star chef and cooks these things that you would not believe. Like we don't even know what in the world he's cooking until you actually see it. And if you've seen like the Hannibal show, I like how cinematic it gets with him cooking because it kind of turns into like this foodie style type show for a little bit when it shows him cooking
People.
people. Because he doesn't just eat like your arm or your bicep or something, like he's eating your organs. Like he prepares your organs like you would like an
A regular
animal
animal.
organ. Yeah, so it's really interesting to see him as a character like that. And I would definitely recommend watching the show and to see how it's kind of like a cat and mouse game because he's actually working with the people that are trying to catch him. So it's kind of a really good cat and mouse type show. Especially once like you have this one person that figures it out and then he kills the people that's on their team, and then he's able to manipulate the psyche of some of those people as well because he's actually like one of like their psychologists that's on with them. So it's really good to see. I would highly recommend the show. I believe that he is an A tier character
Fuck.
simply because of how
I'd
well
put
thought
him.
out he
I'd put him
is.
A if we had an S tier.
Fine
So
with me.
you could split those because I don't think I'd see him and Chucky in the same.
Jace.
Or
Yeah.
Jason, yeah, Jason and Freddy.
I'd probably
Also,
prefer to watch Silence of the Lambs over most
What?
of these.
You crazy.
Because he's not an 80s villain. He's a thriller villain when it's all said and
Because
done.
for me this character has a lot more depth
It's more
and
psychological
a
than.
it
and
is
more
more
psychological
psychological.
and type of there's a little bit of body horror in some of it as well. um so when I look at what's in B tier right now, those characters aren't nearly as well thought out and meticulous as his character.
I'm fine with it. What we got? We got. Neva, why'd you put this dude in here?
Let me see who this
I
dude
don't
is.
think
He
that's
is not a
actually a
horror.
horror.
Is that Predator?
Yeah.
Yes. Dude,
There
Arnold
is a horror
Sports.
movie
He's an
villain.
action
Yeah,
villain.
yeah, he's definitely a horror movie
He's
villain.
not
I
a
would say
horror.
action.
Dude, he
I
It's a
fights
little
Arnold
bit of horror.
Schwarzenegger.
recommend.
There's a subgenre of horror out there for this.
I
Action
guess
horror,
so.
I guess.
The iceberg.
I would definitely count Predator as a horror movie villain.
It's an action movie, by through and through.
He just uses scientific guns and
I will
spaceships.
say though, the first Predator, the very first Predator that ever came out, is the best that's ever come out of all the Predator
You don't like the
franchise,
second
and
one?
it
So,
does. I'm not saying that the second one's bad. I'm just saying it's not as good as the first one. And
so
that
it's
one,
counted
the
as
first
sci-fi
one,
horror.
yeah. So the first one has more of a little bit horror element to it than any of the other ones because there's a lot of cat and mouse to it.
I think also second one is also horror.
Yeah, It's there.
He just wanted to
But
visit New York City. I don't understand.
Yeah.
but definitely the
I
first
think
one is one of the best
I
ones.
think I think the second
I
most
just like
recent one is
Arnold.
also a really nice one. Um, yeah, but I guess B tier's fine. We only
Is
have
he
three tiers.
really horror though?
I don't know. You put him back on B
Sci-fi
tier. Yes,
horror.
he is. He is sci-fi horror. Even if you look up the
Alien is
question on
sci-fi
Google,
Alien.
horror.
I was gonna say yeah. Alien
Alien is
sci-fi
sci-fi horror.
horror, not
Predator, yeah.
Predator.
But I mean, Predator's a little bit there. He's a little bit there.
I guess he does rip out the skull and the spine of his kills. So I guess
Anyways, I guess on the topic.
I
Xenomorph.
hate.
So
I
Xenomorphs,
hate.
you hate. I
No,
think that's
not hate like not like bad, but like I would put B or A, but just like
so.
those movies
This
make me
thing.
throw up.
So when I was talking about the Death Angels from Quiet Place, Xenomorphs are a way better version of Death
Dude, yeah,
Angels.
they're 10
These
times better.
these things will f you up. Like we had a there's no way we're beating Xenomorphs if they decide to get on Earth. Like they
Dude,
are a parasite that you do not want
they
to
don't
fight.
just F you up, they make you pregnant with their babies.
The
Through
first
your
one was
They got
really
mouth.
good. Then it
they
started
got
going more
acid.
actiony.
Yeah, I want to put an A tier.
Mm.
I'd probably put an A tier too, just because I vomit whenever I watch those movies.
I'm cool
I
with
know.
it, John.
Especially the newer ones. Have you seen
It's
Prometheus
hard for
and
me to put A, but they are. I mean, after the course of all the Alien movies, they're pretty well thought out. They have established their rules of the universe, like what they do, how they do it. I don't like a lot of the Alien movies past like the first two. I think the first two Alien movies are probably like the best so far. I
Well,
don't know.
Alien.
I guess you'd have to say A because it is to me better than Predator as a horror villain. And then I can't. Yeah, I guess so. I guess there's enough there for me for me to put it at A.
I like Isolation. Like it's a cool game.
Mhm.
Which one? That the one? Oh,
oh, the thing.
He just
I
put the movie
definitely.
poster.
Yeah, I was just like, because there's not one thing of the thing. Everything else is like a test monster.
Multiple
But
things.
Dude, I love the thing. One of
Same.
my favorite
Well, I
movies
could,
of all time.
you know, I could have put Ben Grimm on here, the thing from Marvel, but but the thing, I will nominate this one for A, and I'm gonna back it up that it. Okay, so I'm gonna put this argument for another character, and you'll see why. But the thing could literally be anything. It could be anyone. Like, and I think that's like
Mhm.
just horror in itself, where you're trying to guess who
Yeah.
the villain is, and it can start a lot of infighting. That's what happens in
Mhm.
the movies that you're all trying to figure that out. And when the thing decides to reveal itself, I actually recently watched the newest one, and it's just so scary how it just opens up and starts roaring, and it is
Yeah.
entirely scary. It is entirely scary,
Among
and
Us.
like
Yeah, the
yeah,
first
and then
Among Us
August-
before Among Us.
Mhm.
So yeah, I really want to put this on the A because
Weren't there-
it is horror.
Weren't there like 3 remakes or something like that? Because I remember
I
people
don't know
saying
about
that
3
there's like a bunch
remakes.
of different movies of the same thing, just like done differently.
I have no idea if it's like the actual The Thing remake. The only one I know of is that they made a prequel recently, which was like what
Yeah.
back in 2012, 2014, somewhere
Yeah,
in that
with
area.
Mary Winstead.
Yeah,
Mary Winstead, I think.
which
Yeah,
I thought
so-
was not a bad movie. I thought it was actually a pretty good, regarding like what they had to follow up. But for sure, The Thing is just one of the best written movies of all time. in
We've all
terms of
seen
horror.
the first
Yeah.
one, right? The one
I'm
with
fine with
I
that.
have seen like the one
Who
with
do
the
you think-
practical effects.
who do you think it was at the end?
Oh, I
Because
have no
they
idea.
never really tell you which person the thing was. They both die.
Yeah,
and
they
they're just
never
staring
really
at
tell
each
you
other.
who.
Like, is it you? Is it me? Who's the thing? And then that's it.
Yeah, I just love how they just leave that up for
Yeah.
interpretation for you. But the point is that you know that they crashed, but you don't know if one of them survived or not. But yeah, I thought it was very well written, and it was probably one of my favorite movies to watch around Halloween
Oh,
time.
yeah. Very,
So there's
very
no
nice.
arguments for me. Definitely agree, it's an A tier, and I still love all the practical effects. Like it's crazy to me that like our day and age now, 2023, like you see CGI effects now, and sometimes it could just ruin a movie for you. Um, so I think that practical effects has now been like something that people want to see again. I know, and people always reference this movie as like something that was like peak of practical effects.
Leonard, next one.
So Levi, this is the dumbest picture, but I guess
Where's that? Oh my god, a
But
That
wooden
was the
bro,
best
log.
one.
death
but
itself.
bro, I do not drive behind trucks that
That's why I
have
put it on
logs like
there.
that
It's the most
because
iconic.
of this movie.
That's
Because
the
of this
most
movie.
iconic.
You know the
You
other
think
thing that
that
I
one's the most
also get,
iconic?
Which
the
one
most
was
iconic
iconic?
kill or like the most iconic
Yeah.
image.
Which,
I think
which one
so,
are
bro.
you?
Like I still to this day don't drive behind trucks
Yeah.
like that.
A lot of people don't drive behind trucks with logs on it because of this
For
part.
me,
all
it's
because
the
of Final
workout one
Destination.
where
The
he's
workout
working
one?
out and the weights come and smash his
Oh.
head. Because I would
No.
work out in high school and I would always look at the weights. Like if they move a little bit, I'm jumping out of the way.
But this one, bro, I never drive behind these kinds of trucks with logs. Like that. And yeah, but you know the other thing too that also scars me is when it's actually in this scene as well. When the lady's driving and like a water bottle
Yeah, I
gets
guess
stuck behind her brake. I have actual like I think about that anytime I have like a water bottle in my car. Like I make sure it's nowhere near my pedal because I've
The
never thought
odds.
of that before. But seeing this movie, bro, scarred me from that and also like having a water bottle block my brake for some reason.
So
how do
I don't
we
know.
how do we rank
So
something that we can't see, Levi? It's just the
well,
concept
there's
of
a lot
death.
of there's a lot of
It's
stuff
just
that
the
we're
concept
not.
of death.
Yeah, it's a concept of death. A lot of everyday objects. I wasn't sure how to do it because like when you say
I mean,
death, are you
it's
talking about
death,
just
right?
death in general?
Yeah,
But
yeah,
I guess
death.
we're just talking about death in
As a concept, not a
I
destination.
guess
person.
you could say like a Grim Reaper, like Grim from Billy and Mandy.
Mhm.
But like the death just does like a whole bunch of types of tricks. Like we never see him do shit. But so I'm not sure how because we have a lot of characters that you don't really see, which is like the entity from It Follows, the Thing. Um,
Mhm.
But you can
so I
see
wasn't
them
sure.
in the movie though.
Yeah,
I don't think you
this
can
one
see.
is just a.
You don't see this; just actions happening.
Yeah, it's just.
Mm.
Yeah, you see the
I mean, they're fun
consequences
movie.
of
They're fun
everything.
movies, but as that, this is not a character like anything else, Levi.
I guess you could say
it's
if you're
it's a,
talking about the death, the entity of death.
This one's
yeah.
pretty
I don't
Maybe
know.
entertaining.
the
I don't
the
want to say
overall.
I don't want to say this as a reflection of the movies,
Yeah.
but
See your
I want to say C tier.
I'm
I
fine with
want to
C
say
tier.
C
What
tier,
what? I was like,
but that's not a reflection of the movies, in my opinion, as the franchise.
yeah. When like I want to say that the overlasting Final Destination as a whole has had a lasting effect. As you said, you drive with your
Mhm.
water bottle and the cup holder and everything like that. So I felt like it
Yeah,
had like a huge presence, but I don't know. You just don't have a face for it.
yeah, it's very hard.
Sam,
Oh, this is my favorite
Ooh,
Halloween movie.
yeah.
I've never seen Trick or Treat.
yeah,
You've
I
never
love
seen
Trick or
I
it?
would
Treat.
Mm-mm.
I would
It is
recommend it.
such a great
It's
movie. I
yeah.
remember getting chills. I got chills while watching Trick or Treat. Like, oh man. But see, Sam is only. I
Yeah,
don't know
he's
if I
only
want
in
to give
it for
Sam
like a
A
little
tier.
bit.
I don't know if I want to give Sam like. Look at that. He's
Mhm.
eating a Halloween candy. He has a knapsack over his head, and like when you pull it off, he has that pumpkin face. Like I feel like he is the horror. Like I feel like he is the Halloween villain. Like
Mhm.
so I want to give him A tier just for his design. Um, but like, is he like immortal? I think there's only been one.
Isn't it like
There's
the
only been one
spirit of
movie.
Halloween or something?
Yeah, he's supposed to be the spirit of Halloween, I believe.
Oh wow.
But I do not know if there was maybe just one movie just solely about him.
No, I don't think so. It was just a
I don't
I
bunch
think it
didn't.
would
of.
I
work.
think there's comics. I think there's comics of him.
I didn't read
Man,
the
it's
comics.
hard because he definitely is a very iconic character, but like him as the villain of the movie, man, it's kind of hard because I like that it's an anthropology too because like it gives you literally
Mhm.
everything in that movie, ghosts and goblins and wolves and vampires, and it gives you everything in that movie. But like him, it's hard. but I can't put him in the same tier as C. But definitely memorable. Definitely has his time to shine. So I think I'd have to go B.
I feel like it's fair because he only has like one death
Yeah,
in the
he's not.
movie.
He's
He only
not the
kills one
main
person.
like person in the movie. So
Yeah. But definitely over Predator.
we can like fix this up a little bit
Yeah.
after. We don't have to do it right now
Yeah.
because
yeah.
yeah,
All right. So next one.
Predators at the very end or what?
Got Samara.
Yeah,
Ooh,
Samara and what's her Japanese name? Sadako Yamasura.
Sadako.
Yeah, Sadako.
Not to be confused with The Grudge.
Golly. I like her Japanese version better though.
I've never seen the Japanese.
Wait,
This is
isn't
The
the
Ring.
Japanese
Grudge?
version is much
Oh,
very well done in Japanese.
She is scary. I think she's actually like probably the ghost girl. I would put her in A tier just for like the relevance.
I wouldn't.
I think when you think of Ghost Girl, you think of her more than The Grudge.
I think.
Yeah,
It was
did
a
you know
Grudge.
that?
The Ring is not a
Did you-
horror movie though.
Yeah, fun fact though, there is a Ring versus the Grudge movie in
Yeah,
Japanese.
yeah, there is. Yeah, The Ring versus The Grudge.
Absolute trash though. Oh my god. It's such a bad
Oh
movie.
man, I
It's
was
such
like,
a bad movie.
I was hoping for some good stuff out of it, but
I mean, you'll have a fun time watching it, but it's such a bad movie. For me, Sadako,
I say.
man,
I'm thinking B now that I really think about it.
the
The
character
hardly
itself,
gets screen time as well.
yeah, but it's
Like-
also a very powerful character too.
The idea behind it is cool. Watching the movie and you die.
Sydney, your TV's leaking.
That shit. It's just dripping water all over my floor.
I want to say B, but like a higher B. Like
I would
probably
say
the
A,
top
but
B
I don't
plus.
have much arguments. I don't remember much about it, but it's just like she's terrifying. When you see something
Yeah.
coming out of your TV, everyone has a TV. She's gonna get you.
How often do you actually see her in a movie? Like 5 minutes.
Yeah, and there's
Or
not
less.
really like much for the character. Like,
Yeah, it's a thriller. It's not a.
Mm.
It's more of a crime
Mhm.
movie than it is a horror movie.
and
Alright.
also like there isn't like an immediate danger to that character unless you watch the tape.
Mhm.
That makes sense.
Okay, yeah. Why do people watch the tape? I forgot why.
Like
Just
being
viral
stupid,
virality.
just giving it to
Okay.
you. Like, hey, watch this shit.
Dude, imagine someone uploaded that shit on TikTok.
Ooh.
So someone should do that. Just
No,
Find
they
it.
wouldn't watch it, bro. It's more than 15 seconds. No one would watch it.
nah. I'll put on YouTube. I check this.
The attention span of
That's
people is
a
insane.
shitty.
The Nun,
villain.
soft gummy.
C tier, C tier, C tier, C tier, C tier, C tier.
You guys are just haters, man. You
Definitely
don't like
better than
anything
Annabelle.
new.
I think I'd rather
Right,
watch the
Terrible
Nun.
character.
I'm gonna
Terrible.
put some
character.
light in my room.
What the fuck is this?
Yeah, I turned on my TV because I
Is
was
this the dude
getting a
from
little.
Slipknot or what?
No, that's Sinister. You never saw
Oh,
Sinister.
Sinister, yeah.
Sinister sucks.
Oh, we didn't even talk about the nun though.
Oh, we don't need to talk about that.
Did anyone even agree with that?
Damn, dude.
Yeah, we all agreed.
Hold
C tier.
on, let me speak about
Alright,
the
alright.
nun.
This is
Did
the
you
dude
want
from
to defend the
Slipknot.
nun?
Okay,
What's his name? Mick Gordon.
something
Who,
like that.
That monster's called the Babugo or something like that.
Bagul.
Bagul, there you go. Bagul, I'm gonna put B tier. I think he's the only good thing to come out of the Conjuring universe or whatever.
Conjuring.
But yeah,
Yeah, that's,
Yeah,
that's
apparently
the Conjuring
they're-
universe.
yeah, I think it's called the Conjuring verse or whatever you call it.
Wait. Wait, whoa. Are we talking about the nun or are we talking about the Bagul?
The Bagul.
What's
Isn't the
Bagul?
nun the Bagul?
From
or no?
Sinister?
Oh, we're not talking about Sinister. We're talking about the nun.
We're talking
Oh,
about
yeah.
the
Only
nun?
wanted to defend the nun real quick.
I
Okay,
just
go and
I just
defend
wanted
the
to
nun.
talk about the nun. Just
Okay.
because
All right, I was confused. I was like, Sinister has nothing to do with the Conjuring universe.
Oh, he's trying to defend the C placement.
I'm trying to defend.
Okay, we'll defend the nun. I at least put the nun over Annabelle at least
Yeah.
I can't believe you guys.
because the nun actually kills with people. Well, I mean, maybe the body count's like 4 or 5 at this point with the second one that came out.
I haven't seen The
But
Nun, but I did see The Conjuring 2, which she was
Part of the
in.
Nun too.
yeah,
Yeah,
the nun in
that's
the Conjuring was way better as a concept than the actual
The-
nun, and like exploring what the nun is, what the demon is. I mean, it's just very confusing, to be quite honest with you.
I forgot what I was going to defend it. Damn.
Oh well, too late.
Oh my god.
Oh,
Wait, but I wanted to say something real quick. Did you guys like ever hear that all that was just BS? Like the Warrens, they made everything up.
oh, that they
Oh, I think
made everything up, meaning
Yeah.
like, are you talking
they-
about like for the cinematic reasons, or are you talking about like
No, no, no,
everything
no.
like they have is made up?
Well, that too, and the cinematic reasons also. Like they made
Okay, because I know
stories
the
up and
cinematic reasons, like everything like is amplified, like the Annabelle dolls doesn't look like that and all that.
Yeah,
I knew
didn't
that
know about
part, but you're talking about like them as like their
in real
from
life
their
also.
escapades. Like they've admitted that nothing is real.
That and that they harassed families trying to convince them that they're haunted.
What?
Yeah.
Is there like a documentary? What in the world?
No, it was after the last movie. What was the last movie called? The Devil Made Me Do It or something like that?
Oh, after that one?
Yeah.
Yeah, because people were like, wow, this movie sucks. I guess they just looked into them. And the
Mhm.
family from that movie, I think, is still alive. And they were saying no, that they did not want the Warrens' help. That the
Yeah, because
Warrens
that was
just
based on a
showed
real.
up.
Because
A
that was based on a
real,
real
yeah.
serial killer.
Was it a serial killer? I thought
Wow.
it was just a real, like,
Yeah.
court
Okay,
case.
well, not a serial killer, but that was based on a real case, a real dude.
Yeah, and that it was all, like, made up and that the Warrens were, like, trying to make themselves, through the movies,
Mhm.
look like heroes.
Yeah.
When they've gotten in trouble in the past at, like, harassing families and people.
Wow. Okay, well, I didn't know that. I'll have to look into that then. If that's just recently come out.
All right, moving on. So you're gonna tell me that is
Okay.
not the former member of Slipknot?
It
You're gonna tell me that is not the same person?
is awfully similar.
Mhm.
So the Baba Ghoul.
Yeah, that's literally the same dude.
What is that? What am I looking at?
That's Bagul.
That's the guy from Slipknot before he died.
Oh, okay.
Nah, it's Bagul. He was part of Slipknot
Oh.
for a little while.
When he's not terrorizing families.
Bagul is actually part of the Conjureverse because they just haven't
Really?
put him into it.
You
yet.
lying. Show me.
Yeah, prove it.
There's no way.
No, they're talking about putting him into the Conjureverse.
Oh,
Oh, they
Oh,
want to
shut
put
up.
him in the Conjureverse.
Yeah.
But isn't Bagul just like a boogeyman? From
Yeah,
a
he
different
was-
country?
I thought he was just like Slender Man before Slender Man. Like they tried to make a Slender Man movie, but they're like, oh, we'll just do a ghoul and Sinister.
Wait, which one's Sinister?
Babylonian.
Sinister's the one where like,
Is
he's
that with the
he's
dude?
the one with the
He moves into the
he's
new
the one with
house. He's a writer or
yeah,
something.
yeah.
That movie
It has,
sucks ass.
I think that's Ethan Hawke and the kids end up being the murderers. It's the dad watching the tapes.
Yeah.
Tapes, yeah. That movie sucked
Yeah,
ass.
part 2 wasn't that great.
That was amazing. What are you guys talking about?
Amazing.
The first one was scary.
Sinister. And Sinister 2 was amazing. Sinister 2 was
Amazing?
amazing.
I never
Yes.
watched the second.
Amazing.
Yes.
Wow.
Well, Baba Ghoul was scary. Like,
Mm.
Ethan. Who am I
Ethan
thinking
Hawke.
of Ethan Hawke?
Dude,
Yeah,
like your
it is
level
Ethan
of
Hawke.
horror is like down here
No.
compared to.
Mine
Did
is
you
not
guys
up
like
down
to think? You guys don't like to be scared. Like, oh, what is this
there.
backstory?
I mean,
What was he
Right,
thinking?
right.
bro, I've been watching. Like I said, I watched Evil Dead when I was like 5, bro. Like my level of horror has gone drastically down. So it takes a lot for me to actually be terrified of a movie.
Is this
But
movie
when you
PG
start talking
13?
about real life animation, real life aspects to it, that's when it starts getting like, whoa. But I don't know about Sinister 2 though. I mean, it's not a amazing movie. To me, it's not an amazing movie.
I feel like I had
They're
an
way
amazing
better.
story.
Way better. Just because the kids ended up killing them doesn't make it an amazing movie to me. Like it first part was way better, bro. First part was way
I
better
like the
than
first
part
one.
two. If you're saying that part 2 was better than part 1, then I don't know. No, I can't agree with that. I
I
really
would say
can't.
that. I would say that.
No, I could
I
not
like I
agree with
like
that.
I like following. I like the whole this is how the kids are getting trained and stuff like that, and like it follows the two twins, and the whole domestic violence story. It's a really great story.
I mean, it's a decent story there, but it's not executed very well. Like, it's just not as good to me as the first one. And I
Uh,
remember watching them both back to back, like maybe 3 or 4 years ago, and just being very disappointed in the second one again because I this was it was like the third time me watching it because I tried to give it another shot back to back, but it just wasn't there, bro. The first one is just way better. There's way more horror elements to it. The scene with the lawnmower is just it still gives me goosebumps to this day every time I watch it. It's just way better, and I think part two just fails to replicate that formula again because I don't think they tried to do something new with it and it didn't do well.
I'm asked for B tier.
B tier's
I
already
could give
full.
I could give Bagul a B tier, I think, because I don't see him being C. Simply because he's a little more memorable than the other ones.
This B tier is crowded as hell.
We need more tiers.
We need to start being more strict with our C tiers,
All right,
bro. We
there
need
we
to
go.
start putting some.
Oh my
I'm
god.
okay with that. And move Annabelle up.
No,
Nobody? Oh my god. I can't. I just look at Annabelle next to Winnie the Pooh. I get angry.
I
There
think
we
they're
go.
a pretty fitting couple, bro.
Oh my god, dude.
They're a pretty fitting couple. I do
Oh yeah, next
believe
one.
that the more Winnie the Pooh movies are out there, though, it will become C tier eventually.
All right, back to a classic.
By the way, they're making a Bambi one as well.
With the
Which
rock.
one? What's her name? The Babagul? That's not her
I
name.
don't
Got
I don't remember the actual name. Are you talking about the
Buzu.
actual name of the demon?
That was above.
Yeah, Buzu, Babuzu.
Something like that.
We got the girl from The
Uh,
Exorcist. There. What did he say? You want to fuck me or something?
That's a scary movie, isn't it?
Yelling vulgar things. I actually saw this one too very young.
yeah,
And
it's
this one
Bazuzu.
scared me. This one scared me a lot as a kid,
Really?
actually.
I
Yes, one
did
did.
not
This one
find it
scared me a
scary.
lot simply because of like how the face is like all distorted, especially the stairs scene, walking up the stairs upside down.
I did that when I was a kid.
Dude, but it scared the bejesus out of me, bro. I was like 5 or 6. You got to realize I watched horror movies at a
Oh,
very
no,
young
I
age,
watched
so it
it.
scared me so bad. Um, so The Exorcist has always been like one of those top movies to watch during Halloween. Especially because this was kind of like the first of its kind, in terms of like demons and angels and
Mhm.
God and religion, type
Yeah,
of horror, especially at that time period where it was a little more, being religious was a little more traditional. So in a lot of these homes, this movie was banned simply because it had to do with like angels and demons and stuff like that. So I think this movie or this character, this movie villain, I think is an A, simply because of the
yeah.
impact it had
A,
They
on.
because
also
it's like.
scared.
Go
They
ahead.
also scared a
Yeah,
lot of kids. You guys remember the
yeah.
little viral video game? Because this is
Oh
like
yeah, yeah. I
she
remember
is.
those days of YouTube.
Yeah,
Mhm.
she is the jump scare. She's the one that jump scares you
Oh,
I
and
for-
hits
yeah.
you.
Yeah,
I forgot that was a thing. Shut up,
Jump
Nezuko.
scares. I hated that time.
yeah,
You either got Rick Road or get The Exorcist.
yeah.
Yeah, it's just like Exorcist is the one movie where I just don't like watching. Like I don't have fun watching it just because it is really scary.
And I'm very
Like
excited as well for the new one coming out. This is supposed to be like a direct sequel to the actual Exorcist.
yeah, I
This one,
can't.
All right, guys.
Exorcist
and I'm
movies are the
excited
ones
for
that
it.
give me the heebie-jeebies.
I gotta go, guys.
Oh,
I gotta go
You gotta
return.
go.
I gotta go return some videotapes.
Oh, every frat brother's favorite movie, American Psycho.
I actually never seen it.
I saw it. when I joined the frat.
Check out this
I
business
didn't.
card. I like the business card scene. I've seen that.
Yeah, that scene was weirdly like satisfying. I don't know why. From business cards.
Yeah.
I don't understand any of the reference you guys are saying. I never watched this movie.
You never watched it?
Nope. Fraternity never made me watch this.
I never watched it either. Well, no one ever made me watch it. Like, I have seen the movie.
Well, it's
Like-
just every dude who's in a fraternity is like, oh, my favorite movie, American Psycho. And they're like, yeah,
Is American Psycho
Yeah.
in a fraternity or?
it's just very like bro-y movie where he's like,
Oh, okay.
like Wolf on Wall Street.
yeah, Wolf of
Oh,
Wall
okay.
Street.
That type of.
I'm trying to think of a scene where it'll like clear it up.
What's
There's a
his,
bunch of scenes.
I mean, there's just
What's
a lot
his-
of just bro time scenes.
Yeah.
what's his character's name?
I don't know.
Uh,
Christian Bale just does a
It's
really good job.
Patrick Bates. Is it?
Okay. Patrick Bates.
Patrick
This is what I
something,
get,
Patrick
Norman.
something.
No, it's not
This is
Bates.
what I get-
It's Patrick something. I can't remember.
This is the one I get mixed up with Norman Bates.
Yeah. But man, it's just hard to tell because Christian Bale does such a good job
Yeah, that's true.
as his character. He executes it so well. So that I think it's just B for me, though. I can't put
The
A.
twist at the end though is kind of crazy.
Yeah. Yeah,
Patrick
but that's
Bateman.
for me. That's like speaking more of it as a movie instead of like the character. So I think as the character, I have to say B.
But he is. Yeah, I guess I put him B next to Norman Bates.
Yeah,
He's just a sociopath.
yeah,
There's no.
absolutely.
There you go, Levi.
Dude is just unhinged. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man, if there's a
Oh.
little bit more of the character there that I probably could argue A, but I think just B. I think B is very comfortable. I put him at B.
B.
Did the video pop up right now? Or-
Yeah, it popped up.
I couldn't play the audio because you'll get just flagged. But all right, Jesus, let's bring some ladies on here.
Bring some ladies. I forgot what lady I
The
put on there.
sausage fest. All right, we got everyone's favorite hot
Mix
girl
up.
from back in the day.
There you go.
I've never seen this movie.
So
I've
I'm
I've
gonna
never
put
seen this movie.
Never interested me.
I saw it.
We know Levi.
So
Levi's so excited.
well, this is I thought the
How
movie was
excited he
dumb.
got.
I thought this movie was dumb.
Now this
I was just
movie
like,
is what all the sorority girls saw, and that they said their favorite movie. It's like basically American Psycho, but for the other side.
I feel like Jennifer Body was also supposed to get more sequels, but it just did so terribly awful.
Did you really?
At the beginning, it was
Yeah,
awful, and then it picked up again, kind of like out of
I,
nowhere.
I
For some
feel like
reason.
people love this movie.
They
Yeah,
do
there's
now.
this is kind of it's got like this cult following for the movie.
Mhm.
Maybe it's just the people
Um,
I follow.
I think it's just because
There's a
the
certain type of
movie-
girl.
Oh, yeah.
because it's not a badly made movie. Like it's a well-made movie.
Yeah.
But it's not very good.
It's very silly.
Because
I remember,
you look at C tier, right? You see Killer Clowns from Outer Space.
Hmm.
That's not a very well-made movie, but the concept and the ideas of it are very good. And then you got like Leprechaun as well. Not a very well-made movie, but the character is good. And then you have this one. It's a very well-made movie, but it falls on its ass really hard. Like, and it barely even holds its like its essence together towards the end, because then you start getting into these like really weird powers that she has now. And for me, I don't know, man. It's a movie that I can put on in the background, like if we were having like a Halloween party or something. Definitely one of those kinds of movies.
I say
But
C
for me,
tier.
I think it's soft. I think it's soft, bro. As a
Soft?
character, very soft.
Soft.
I
think it's a
will go
soft
with that.
character.
I'll go
All
with
right,
that.
Levi. All right, you have
I
to break
couldn't-
up his beat here real quick.
Say what?
We have to break these tiers up because there's too many B tiers.
Okay, so
Okay,
crunchy is
okay.
S, soft
So
is
since we
D.
have an S tier now,
Who are we sticking in
we have
S
an
tier?
Well, of
Who,
course,
since we have S here, I
We're
think
overriding you,
Jason
Levi.
has to go. I
Isn't
think Jason
Jason-
has to go up to S.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Jason definitely. I would say Kramer.
I wouldn't.
Kramer,
I would.
yeah.
If you put Kramer, you have to put Hannibal in S tier.
Yeah, I think
Kramer's
I'm
way
comfortable
better
with
than Hannibal.
I wouldn't say so.
No.
Oh my god, what?
Not as a character.
It's because you haven't
Yes.
you haven't seen any Hannibal stuff. So
I've seen some of the.
Okay, it's fine right
some
there.
clips.
Crunchy and A is perfect right there.
No, we gotta
Okay,
break up
so
this
if
B
we-
tier. Who goes in
so
A?
we had to move up A. I would have to move up it.
Pennywise.
I
Yeah,
I
Yeah,
can
thank,
move up it.
thank you.
I
Orphan.
could move up.
Terrifier, Torfin. Or
I think
Terrifier,
Terrifier
yeah.
stays at B. I
Oh, you
think
do?
no wait, hold on. Okay,
I
then
was
yeah.
thinking
Okay,
A.
since I forgot we have S tier now, so yes, I'd put Terrifier A.
Orphan.
Orphan A.
I would say A, yeah, just because of the story is really good.
Yeah, same thing with
Megan is soft, gummy, so put it all the way down there.
we're at B.
Can we put Dracula at A? Just because he is pretty much iconic, but he's not.
Nah.
He is just.
What about Patrick?
If we don't have any more space, we'll move him up to A.
Mm,
All right, that's a little weird.
That's hard.
All right,
I
we got
think-
some. I think we'll be all right.
C tier is just disgusting. Just remove all that.
Okay,
You got a
Levi put this
log,
next.
an alien, and a leprechaun.
Levi, have you actually seen Carrie?
Ooh.
Yes.
I saw the remake.
She is
her.
not the
I
villain.
like her.
Her mom is the villain, Levi. Carrie
This
is
is
not.
like-
the
Yeah, her
This
mom
is
really
like-
is an asshole.
Her mom-
Let's not go all Frankenstein
picture.
Frankenstein's monster on it. she's the character of the series.
Yeah, but she's not.
But if we're talking about her mom,
That-
we're just
her
being
mom
assholes
is an-
here.
Her mom is. I put her mom in
Oh.
fucking Crunchy. Talking about bad mothers, jeez.
So you want to put her in C tier? I say be fair, put her B tier because of the whole argument that she's not the villain of the story.
I say C
I know.
with Frankenstein.
No, I think Carrie is a little more of a character. There is a lot of character development. You follow her around the entire novel. The entire story
Mhm.
is just really about her and her abuse and what she's enduring and why
But she's
Why
not
I
the
believe-
bad guy, though.
she isn't the bad guy. But the
She
thing
does
is
kill,
that
though, right?
her circumstances have turned her into the villain, and that's really where it is, because it has to do with like with serial killers becoming who they are because of their background, the nature versus nurture. And I believe that Carrie was a good-hearted person that could have used her powers for good, but because of her circumstances, because of who her mother was, because of
Everyone.
the
else.
way that she was
Her
raised,
bullies.
and her bullies, which she could have avoided if her mother raised her normal, to be quite honest. I think Carrie
I'm not putting her
is
at A.
more of a well thought out character at A, simply because you follow her story and you get to see why she becomes what she becomes.
You got to see her get pushed over the edge.
You
she's
basically
definitely a villain. She had two sequels, and she ended up killing everybody.
I thought they
Like
were remakes.
were they sequels
I mean,
or
like,
remakes?
yeah, in the book, she kills the entire town, dude. Like,
Oh, damn.
she literally burns down the town in the book.
there is a sequel called Carrie the Rage, and I think she kills like a whole bunch of people at like a pool party. So yeah, she definitely is a villain.
Yeah, but
it happened twice.
But then again, it
Twice.
has to do with who she became because of her upbringing. So all of
fine
that
with
is
it.
because of this.
That's very iconic. The whole
I think she's
Drenched in
basically the
pig blood.
same thing as Frankenstein.
But better.
Frankenstein monster.
So you can't have them at different, like, Frankenstein's monster.
Pitchforks are his greatest weakness. Oni.
Fire,
Fire.
actually.
Fire.
Mob
pitchforks.
mentality.
Which pretty much, I think fire is all of our greatest weakness.
All right, Levi, what the fuck is this?
Oh, that's the.
Who the heck are
what's
those
the name of the family?
Oh.
What's the name of the family? because a lot of people are considering this family as now the
Is that
Armitage
is
family.
that the
It's
family that
from
gets hunted
no,
in
it's
their
from
own
Get
home?
No,
Out.
this is Get Out,
Oh,
the
I never
family
saw
from
those.
Get
I don't
Out.
see those.
Oh,
Um,
I was like, who the fuck are these
I'm like, who are
people?
these white people?
yeah, the
Exactly.
Armitage family. Yeah, from the family from Get Out.
Mm,
Uh,
I can talk. I haven't
so
seen this movie.
so they had a lot of. They definitely been iconic. A lot of people. Get Out is probably like a really great horror film that recently came out. So a lot of people are considering these guys horror movie villains. I wouldn't say so. If anything, I'll put them in C tier. They definitely had a very great presence. The mother with her hypnotizing um, trick, uh, the girl dipping her Fruit Loop in milk
Mhm.
and then eating it.
That
So
was
they all
really
have
funny.
Yeah,
definitely have they
Is
all
that an
definitely have their
innuendo?
like little quirk. I'll put in C
yeah.
tier.
I think C as well.
They won't stand the test of time as
Only, yeah,
villains.
they won't. Yeah,
The
yeah,
movie will
they,
stand the test of time. The
They won't.
movie
yeah. The
will.
movie, yeah. The only, and that's the only thing that's saving them for me and putting them in soft because they simply just had a good movie. But I don't know
They all
about them
did.
as being
They
villains.
all did get murked by one person.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
I think C tier.
I hear a doorbell.
Yeah, hold on.
We'll get it.
Levi, what is this? Is
That is
that the strangers?
them.
That's from
No,
Oh, that's from
that's
us.
the
Us.
that's the
Yeah.
tethered. The tethered.
Us, yeah,
Yeah, I was putting a
yeah.
lot of new age into it. I was gonna put what's
This is
Jean
the worst
Jacket
photo
into
you could
this.
have picked. What's it called? The movie?
Us the
Us.
tethered. Very very original name. Us.
And so, are you speaking of all of the tethered?
Probably just this the family. The family doesn't really have a name. They're classified as the tethered.
Hmm.
But just this tethered family right here. I think the mother does a really good job, which
Yeah, yeah. Uh, they're they're better than
they're better than
Get Out
Armitage.
family. Yeah, they're better than that family for sure. But
It's
I
only the
don't know
mother,
if I can
right?
move this family.
She's the only one that has a speaking role.
Yeah, literally the only one. But I
Mm.
don't know if I can move them into B. But they are better than
Uh,
the other family to me.
so I guess put it above them. Yeah, still great movies, but like
Yeah, yeah,
standalone
uh,
villains.
yeah. That doesn't share my opinion of the movies because I think all of his movies that he's made are really good.
Mhm.
I even like
I'll
the
say
the rebooted Candyman. The rebooted Candyman I thought was pretty good too.
yeah, rebooted Candyman.
Jaws.
All right, Bruce. So what you
That's
guys think
his
about
name?
I
Bruce?
never knew my fault.
Yeah, his name is Bruce.
It's Bruce.
Bruce, I want to put in B or A tier. I don't think he deserves C tier, mainly because the cultural phenomenon of this movie. When this movie came out, like I think the family of the author of the book, or they're like really trying to show that sharks aren't this menacing, because there was that whole thing where they're trying to show that sharks are a little bit more less lethal than what the movie's showing. Have you guys
Yeah,
ever read that?
yeah, I heard about that.
Yeah.
There was a lot of backlash for like trying to turn the shark into an enemy like that.
Yeah.
um,
So I don't know. I think and Jaws is a
oh
horror movie.
man,
A lot of people wouldn't consider it,
yeah,
but
it's a
but
very classic feeling horror movie because back then it was very easy to scare.
yeah.
So this movie was very scary back then. Now it's not, but I think it does stand the test of time in the
Yeah,
sense
yeah.
of like the what's it called, the mystery of the actual character, and I think a lot more. I think movies would benefit in following this style of like not really showing the monster to the very end, um instead of and playing more into like those horror elements of like what's in the water, what's coming after me, that kind of dread. I think a lot more movies would benefit from. Then like you look at something like the Meg, that's kind of like weird and actiony.
Mhm.
um But I think, oh man, it's so hard because Jaws is so iconic. Jaws is such an iconic movie.
Have you all seen all four of them?
Yeah, I've seen all
I
four. I
think
mean, don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. The other movies aren't that great.
Hey,
But
3D is amazing.
just Jaws is such iconic.
we
I
gotta give
want to
it
put
more because
Jaws at A.
it definitely inspired Megalodon. Like you cannot tell me for a fact that it didn't inspire Megalodon.
Yeah,
Well, in that
It
case, that's
inspired
good stuff.
it's inspired every like monster movie
mhm.
With an animal?
in terms of like an animal
Yeah.
Cocaine Bear.
for so long. So I would say A. But if you guys
Sharknado,
want to,
Sharknado.
yeah. But if you guys want to try
Sharktopus.
Crunchy, I am actually not opposed to putting it at Crunchy.
What do you say, guys? Crunchy or A?
That's
It's,
tough.
it's like an apex predator.
Yeah,
That
it
is-
inspired a lot of it.
I
I
still would get
guess
scared of going to the
Crunchy.
beach. We got one animal. All right.
I'll be honest, I'm more scared of jellyfish than I am of sharks, though.
Dude,
Oh yeah.
same.
Just let someone pee on you, man.
Hell no, bro. Have you ever been stung by a jellyfish? That shit hurts, bro.
No.
That shit burns and it hurts.
Oh no, I haven't. I don't think I ever want to do that.
Yeah, that's why I hate the beach now, bro. I hate the beach.
So we don't have that many monsters on here. I'm just gonna put this one. I don't know if y'all seen this one. Ginger
Uh,
Snaps.
Oh, I saw Ginger Snaps.
I don't think I have seen this one.
Dude, I saw it like at 3 in the morning when I was in
Ginger
high
Snaps?
school. It was just randomly on Sci-Fi Channel.
So it's basically two sisters. One of them, I don't know what happens, but she slowly starts to transform into a werewolf.
She got bit by a werewolf, like walking
I
home,
think it's
didn't she?
bit. Yeah, I think
Yeah.
something like that.
I
But
I
you
didn't put
see
the
her
Wolfman
go
on
through
here.
everything and everything. It's very.
Isn't there an Alvin and the Chipmunk movie like that?
Oh, dude, that's my favorite one.
Let me see. Hold on.
Shut up.
Alvin Meets the Wolfman. It's real good. I like it. But this one is like a teen kind
Yeah.
of pop culture thing.
And you get the Wolfman too.
Well, when did
Yeah,
this
look,
come
here we
out?
go. Look.
2002, 2003.
Dude, that
Alvin
was
and
my
the Chipmunks.
favorite Alvin and the
Oh,
Chipmunks movie.
me, the werewolf.
He got bit by a werewolf. He started slowly turning into a werewolf.
As a chipmunk. A
Yeah.
chipmunk wolf.
Yeah,
Where
but
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I never thought about that part. Where
I personally didn't like this movie, so I mean,
I would put it at like a B.
I put it as a
Or
B, yeah.
All right, if you guys both agree on that, I
Yeah.
haven't seen it. I'll just see
It's- Then you have to kill your own sister. That's
Mhm.
the movie's called Ginger Snaps.
yeah.
Did you know there was 2 of them?
I saw that right now when I looked it up. I haven't seen.
Yeah, there's one where like they're in like Puritan age, like they're that one was
Alright,
pretty good too. I liked it.
let's get this dude out of the way. Hey Levi, where'd you get those?
Yeah. Yes, let's go. Let's go.
This guy scared me as a
creeper.
kid.
The creeper was scary. He was really scary. Second one was really good too. Third one,
The fifth
everything after
one.
I kind of like the
was the
second
worst
one.
movie I've ever seen.
Is that the one where they're in a haunted? Okay, so the last one was so.
The one that came out in
my
Hulu
God.
like this year. It's do not. Watch.
Oh wait, no. Are you talking about the most recent one, or there was one called Reborn? Because there's
That one.
technically 4, right?
There's 5.
Yeah.
I think.
There's 4. I think
5.
it's 4. 5?
No, it just came
I
out
could
this
have
year.
sworn there was one that was 4 and that recently came out.
What's the movie
Hey,
called?
was it the 4th one? I think it's
Reborn?
the 4th one.
Reborn is one that came out last year.
Okay, yeah, that one was absolute garbage. That was an absolute
That's the one where they're in
garbage
a
movie.
house. Why would you put them in a house? The whole thing about Jeeper Creepers is that he's flying around. You're not safe outside. Like, why would you be?
They ran because
Yeah.
they weren't safe outside. That's why they went in the house.
But man, dude, I think part 1 had the best horror elements of all of them because it's a slow build to what this character is, and I love it. Like one of my favorite scenes is the part where when you start to really see who this character is when he jumps on the police car And then
Mm.
you just yeah. So that's when you start getting like a glimpse of what this character can do. And you're just sitting there like, what in the world am I watching? Because at first you kind of thought it was like this cannibal or this serial killer that's just like dumping bodies
Yeah,
in
you
this
just thought it
place.
was a dude, right? It didn't show.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. It didn't show
And he
until like you
drove a
started.
truck.
yeah. So you for a while you kind of think that he's just some kind of guy that's really crazy that's been doing this for a long time. But then you start getting glimpses of who this is and what he is, and it's such a good movie. And I think part two did a really good job of capitalizing on it. I still think the first one's better,
I think the
um,
second one's
but
better.
but the second one definitely takes everything you've learned about this character and just turns up the volume to it. And I think it did a very good job. But I still think part one was a better horror movie. Um,
You know,
but
what's
this
called A or
character,
Crunchy?
I
Crunchy,
think
crunchy.
I think this character.
Bad movies aside,
Golly,
because the bad movies taint him real
the
bad.
bad movies are horrible though. Holy
Uh,
mama!
I did it. The
But
first two are
like
cool.
the
Really good.
scare factor of this character, the lore behind the character, I think was better off left as a mystery.
I think
Um,
I think A is fine. I think A is really good,
I think
despite the
A is
bad
fine.
movies.
I think A is fine, but I could see why you would want it at S.
Because this is the personification of a scarecrow. Because they had him as a scarecrow in the second movie. You know, like that's how he came in and killed the first kid.
Because he was
But
sleeping. Yeah.
dude, but not just that, but he can like absorb people's body
Yeah,
parts and
oh
make
yeah,
them
he
their
can do
own.
that shit too.
And he
yeah,
picks you
Yeah,
out of the bunch. That was such.
Dude, like that bus part where he gets
He's
the
like,
thing pushed to his head, and he takes one of the kids' heads and he just like puts it on his own and then makes it
yeah,
his own head.
yeah, yeah. It's a very good character. I think it's a very good
if they
character.
didn't ruin him with the other
Yeah,
movies,
I
it
think the
wouldn't
the
have
last movies were terrible, and I don't even consider them Jeepers Creepers
Yeah,
just
I think in
because
about 10 years we'll get a reboot. So
I
hopefully that
hope
does
not.
better.
I've never seen this movie.
That's Candyman.
Candyman.
Ooh,
Candyman's
Candyman.
amazing. What's his
Candyman's
name?
very good.
Candyman. Well, what's his actor's name? Candyman.
Oh, dude, I don't
I
know, but
just
he's been in a lot of stuff,
Mhm.
like as like that side character that you don't know his name, but he's there.
Tony Todd. So his
Tony
name is Tony
Todd. There
Todd.
you go.
Yeah. He's yeah he really makes a scene. I think he's amazing. I think he's made a really good cult following. I'll give him A tier just for the amount of movies. I don't
Yeah.
know because
Mhm.
I've seen I can't remember much, so I don't know if the quality of his movies goes down.
Mhm. Very much so. It
He's
starts
had
getting confusing and weird, and
he's had four
something to do with
movies.
mirrors now. He's you have to like kill him in the mirror, and then you have to kill him in this self portrait, and I don't know, man. It gets really weird. It was Day of the Dead, and I think something of the Flesh.
I
The other
can't I
two
can't
movies.
I can't remember. Was he always depicted as like a good guy, like the reboot made him out to be, or the remake?
No, no, no. He was kind of like a ghost of vengeance type
Okay,
thing. I know but in the reboot it turned him into like a vigilante, but
yeah,
I don't think that kind of like takes away from this character because this character is
yeah,
completely different than that. Because
yeah,
I think what they start doing is that Candyman is just whoever is wronged at that
yeah,
time. So there are different iterations of Candyman, but if we're looking at this original Candyman or just the concept of this Candyman, I think he's very, very well written.
yeah,
So
yeah.
I think A
Most
tier
definitely.
is easy. A tier is easy for this one, especially because like the impact that
Mhm.
Candyman had at this time, because there
If
wasn't like
it's
any black serial killers. There wasn't really like black orientated horror movies at that
yeah,
time. And I remember seeing this movie on like BET every fucking Halloween, dude. It was amazing. So I think it
these
did a
are
lot for the culture as well, especially like what it touches on police brutality and stuff. So definitely this character is absolute easy A for sure.
All right.
I think bees also helped him out. The whole bees type of situation. Like he put real
Mhm.
bees on him. He got paid
Oh
1,000
God.
for each stun. I think it was like 1,000 per beast sting or something like that.
Dang, kind of want them
Oh
stingy, don't you?
yeah.
All right, you ready for another shit tier?
Another shit tier. What the hell is that?
That's from
Insidious,
Insidious. Yeah.
Darth Maul.
the Darth Maul one, yeah.
No, what's his
Put
name? He
him.
has a name.
Yeah, the name, but I know him as the Darth Maul one.
What's his name? It's
I
something
will say
crazy.
though, I will say that he is the better one of the ones you've shown from this universe.
Are they in the
Just put
same?
stuff
Simply
on me.
because he's from Insidious. The Insidious ones are head over heels better. Except I don't know about the last one though. In the Insidious series, I think this is probably one of the better villains.
You don't like the dude in a wedding dress?
Yeah, not that iconic to me. But this guy for sure owns like one of the like to this day probably one of the more iconic scares in more recent history.
I laughed when I first saw
Um,
him.
like the one where it just pops out behind
Oh,
the
the lady's
person.
face. Yeah.
Yeah. So that is probably one of the more recent biggest scares of horror history, I guess, recently. So I think that this guy for me is a little bit higher than the Nun and Annabelle.
Anyone else?
I haven't seen.
I think C tier is fine.
Yeah.
He didn't come out in the second movie, did he?
Yeah, I think he's part of all of them, all
I
the
thought the
Insidious
second
ones.
movie was just the wedding dress dude. Whatever.
No,
When you
but there
show
was
a
a most
monster,
recent one.
I know he
I don't
came out
think
in the
it's.
most recent one, but
I don't think it's good if you
Hey.
show. So Ghostface, yeah, I chose a very flat. I chose a flattering picture of him right there. Ghostface belongs in Crunchy. I will defend that. I feel like all the Scream movies stand the test of time. It's just like if we're putting a thing in Crunchy, we definitely got about Scream because Scream can literally beat anybody. Then it's
And
really fun. It's
he can
but
literally
I
what?
think
go ahead.
that's what's
Oh,
I
beating.
think that's what's detrimental to Ghostface.
You think so?
Simply because like if you're talking about him as a villain, it's more of the concept of what makes that universe scary, which is Ghostface. Because the movies, I agree with you, absolute S tier, I think, as a franchise. But if you're talking about Ghostface, you can't single out a single character as Ghostface because there's so many iterations. I think at this point it's been like 6 people that have taken on the mask of Ghostface, and that's really hard to say that hey, Ghostface is this because every Ghostface is different and tries to replicate what originally was Ghostface from the first movie. I think in the more recent Scream movies, it's been different. Um, Especially because you had like the most recent one use a shotgun. So that
Yeah.
was, the biggest, difference from all of them. But you can't look at one single movie and say this Ghostface, this Ghostface, this Ghostface is S tier because every Ghostface is different. So for me, I think the mask and the concept of Ghostface should be A. Only because it's different people every single time.
I feel like it's the whole thing. It's people donning the mask, and for different reasons too. Like sometimes they all have beef with Cindy. Cindy is always usually the causative aspect, but then now the Ghostface is harassing other people now. But I really want to give it the Crunchy. What do you guys feel about it? Leonard, Oni,
I
chime in.
say
Ghostface?
crunchy.
I've never seen the Scream movies, honestly.
What? Okay, so going to this, Ghostface is the personification of who done it. It was they do that really well. Like this is literally Scooby Doo. Let's unmask his villain and find out who it is. Like that. That's the whole pitch of Scream.
But that's what makes it because if you're talking about ranking the villain, you can't
Right.
rank the Ghostface villain. You have to rate
Mm.
yeah, the Ghostface personification. And I think it's become iconic enough to be an A tier. But you can't rank him or her because now different people gone in the
Yeah,
mask. You
yeah,
can't you
yeah.
can't you can't rate Ghostface as Ghostface. You have to just rate the mask of who it is.
Okay. You what? Yeah.
Because
Okay.
you can rate the thing. You can rate the thing as a crunchy because it's one alien from from where it's the one alien that jumps from body to body.
Yeah.
And Ghostface, you can't rate their kills or this or this or this. You can rate each Ghostface, but you can't rate one Ghostface, if that makes sense. Like Freddy or Chucky, because they're always the same person.
I'll give that to you. But yeah, that makes sense. Put eighth. I'll put yeah, I'll agree with A tier.
But if you
Michael
talk about the
Myers,
franchise, I agree with you. The franchise is
Yeah,
amazing,
yeah.
though.
Yeah. Oh, I don't think there's been a bad Scream. Maybe the third one. But
Yeah,
yeah, it's just like even then, that's
third one was
probably
bad.
just in comparison. But I think they've all been pretty well.
I heard the
done.
newer ones were really good. But the
I haven't
ones that
seen a
just
lot.
came
I
out,
haven't seen the most recent one. I really want to watch it. I just
I'd
haven't
say
got
they're
the time to
I'd say they're good. Yeah, they're good.
He just wants to see Jenna.
basically.
it.
Okay, this is the Big Daddy, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah,
for,
Levi.
of
No,
Halloween.
this is not the Big Daddy.
I
This
think
is
it's
Big
either
Daddy.
him
Over
or
Jason?
Jason.
No.
I
This
think
is
it's
Big
either him or
Daddy.
Jason.
No.
This is Big Daddy, brother.
I'm trying to
Just
find
because
him.
his movies are called Halloween. I don't
No,
think-
but he is Big Daddy of Halloween, brother. I mean,
but of
it's
horror.
Halloween, happens every Halloween, and
He is
he is.
evil.
But the best part about him that I really don't like what Rob Zombie did, when he made the remakes, is give Michael like this backstory of like an abusive childhood.
He is evil.
That kind of falls into like the serial killer tropes. But I love that it's just like the shape of evil. That concept of just being a shape of evil.
They did make him like
Um,
evil personified or something like that.
Mm,
Yeah, so I believe that is why there is him as like the Mount Rushmore for sure on this
Oh
horror
yeah,
list.
for sure.
William
So for
Shatner.
me, that's Big Daddy, bro. That's Big Daddy
William
of
William
of horror.
Shatner over Jason. No way,
Absolutely.
man. William
So
Shatner.
for me, it's easy crunchy, and I would defend it.
Me too.
yeah,
That last movie was kind of lame until Michael showed up, but
I didn't like the
yeah,
last
the-
movie.
Oh man, I loved the ending to it.
it was fucking cool. But the rest
the
of it, dude,
ending, the ending was amazing, but man, dude, they really dropped the ball on that last one. Don't even get me started. That can be an entire episode for you guys.
it's the kid from Coraline Grown Up.
But man, dude, the beginning of that movie and the end of that movie was very good. Everything in between, I just couldn't tag along with it. I tried. I watched it like
You're
3
talking about
times.
Halloween
I
Ends?
tried.
Yes.
Yeah, Halloween Ends.
do you?
I loved the first like 25 minutes and like the last 25 minutes. Everything in between was just it was just so frustrating
Just like
because it
could
was
have been
such a
different
good
movie.
ending. Yeah, could have.
All right, another Big Daddy. Not as iconic as Michael.
Leatherface.
Ooh,
That's A rank. That's A rank. I think Leatherface probably the most unhinged
I
out
would
of
say-
everybody.
You know, man, I
A?
could say B.
It's a B as a
B?
I
villain.
could say B.
As a villain,
could
yeah,
say
I
B.
can see it.
I could say
No,
B.
man. I think Leatherface puts on like he's just a monster, man. He does not care. Like, and he has fun doing it. Like he'll be dancing with his chainsaw. There was that most recent one, which really sucked. But he killed like a whole tour bus full of people.
Yeah, that was
and they had
sucked, bro.
the
That
The
Yeah,
was
original
films.
movie was one of my favorite.
There was
ones.
at least they delivered on the gore. At least they delivered on that. But
Hey,
that
girl,
movie
watch out, man! You're about
sucked.
to get canceled.
That movie sucked, dude. Oh my god.
I just recently watched it this year, and I was like, "Does anyone else think this movie is bad?" So I looked it up, and yeah, people thought it was terrible. I was like,
Yeah.
"Why did they kill off
They
that girl
they
at the
tried
very
to
end?"
do like the reboot of Halloween, like having the first one be its own standalone and do a sequel from that standalone
He fell
and
into the
forgetting all
Jeepers
the other
Creepers
ones.
trap.
And it just did not do well. But I think I could argue that Leatherface is only a B tier type
I'd
Oh,
say
villain,
A.
and but high B at that, because it's just a he wants to be Jason, it wants to be Michael Myers, but it's just not. It's just
I
not.
mean,
And
think of what he's accomplished. Think of all the movies. Like he like he's definitely like it is all of his family, but he's the one that his family sends after. and
Yeah.
like this man is like a tank. You can like he'll be picking you up, putting you on hooks and stuff like that. He has that strength.
I would put him on
I
A.
mean, I
Just
do
like at
I
the B
do agree
tier.
with you that he's got that presence.
He's definitely got
And
the
he's a
scare factor.
he's a Texan.
He's an easily beatable character
Yeah, he's pretty stupid.
in the sense of like him, you know, like being dumb and then like has to be at the house. There's no overwhelming terror to him being outside of that house, or you have to be really caught there for him to be that terrifying.
Mm.
For
Well, yeah,
me, it's very situational.
when you're in that situation, like there's no like you're stranded in the middle of butt fuck nowhere. Like of course everything's situational. Like I mean, I
And the
think
thing is
with
that he
Jace,
doesn't hunt you down, though. He doesn't hunt you down. You have to literally fall in his lap for this
Or
to be a thing.
his family has to get you to him.
Yeah. And for me, that takes away from the horror. But when you're there, yes, it is terrifying, which is what
yeah,
keeps him higher tier. Because of his presence and the strength and the chainsaw, of course. So I mean, the chainsaw is scary, and it's not just because of how loud
yeah,
it is. But
and
man,
he
dude, like
has a
but
mask made out of skin. Like he cuts out
yeah,
a
yeah,
mask or something.
of course. But the thing is that I'm trying to look at everyone else in A tier, besides maybe Orphan. I don't know, man. I think it's very hard for me to, because
Yeah,
that's Orphan's probably the only one where like I struggle to keep her at A. I really want her at B, but same thing with Leatherface too.
all right, votes
Because
for A.
I
I
don't know.
say A.
Me for me,
I say
maybe
A.
B.
I say
A.
B.
A.
All right,
He got a spot in Mortal Kombat. I'm just saying, like I feel like people that are in Mortal Kombat
I
should have
mean,
a high
so
ranking.
did Predator. We have him in C tier.
and this next one is technically a video game character, but he was featured in the movie. So
I, I didn't put that in.
I put a bunch of these in here, Levi, that you didn't have.
I've never seen Silent Hill.
Pyramid.
I
You
don't
never
think.
seen Silent, you know?
Might as
No.
well put Nemesis.
I think
Um,
C
is
tier.
it? Is he even a villain? Like,
He's
so is
pseudo, and
this,
part of the second movie he is.
I
it's
think
him,
here.
the
I
Silent
think,
Hill.
but to be honest with you guys, like he kind of falls in the same place as Leatherface, bro. You just point at someone and it says "Go get him," and that's what he does.
No.
Like it's like that's almost the exact same character, but
That is true.
you know, I mean that's why I was arguing that Leatherface is more of a B. It's like go get him, Bubba. He's like, that's what I meant, but like Leatherface doesn't
What?
really
No.
have like that like kind of presence to me. But I think Pyramid Head definitely C tier. I think he's just a big overwhelming character, but really it just doesn't do well as like a villain.
All right. This next one is my favorite vampire.
Ooh.
Have you
Is
seen 30
that
Days a Night?
I know.
30
I
days?
Yeah.
Yeah,
know that.
30 days.
Dude, that movie, those vampires are my favorite vampires.
Yeah, those
That
are
was a
probably
really great
They're
movie.
probably the
one
best
of the
ones.
best. One of the best illustrations of vampires.
I put him high.
Especially like the
C.
30 days of night thing is probably one of the cooler concepts too.
Yeah.
Dude, that would
I put him.
suck, dude. It's just vampires.
Yeah.
I'm not going to Alaska.
I was like, give me that. I was like, once I find out vampires, let me drink that vampire blood.
Yeah.
Oh.
I think B though. I think B's pretty good for it. I think
say
I'm at
B
a
also.
very
All
comfortable.
he
at
has a
B.
presence. He had a really great acting role. Like,
Yeah.
oh, are you praying to God? There is no God. Like, but I remember that movie really well. It really kicked ass. But I don't know about the villain. I think I'll put him C.
As his villain C.
That might
Yeah.
be true because him alone, or are we talking about all the vampires in the movie?
I think he's talking about him as a character. Yeah, I can see C.
All right, then.
It was a badass movie. Probably like maybe top favorite movie. I can still watch that. Like, oh my god, it's so good.
All right.
I've never seen the
Hmm.
Hellraisers.
I haven't seen the Hellraisers. I put them on there. I figured maybe you guys have something to say
I
about it?
saw this one,
The
like the
most
new.
recent one, right? This is from the most recent Hellraiser.
It was so I really liked it.
Is that a guy
Yeah,
or
it's pretty good.
girl?
If that one's a girl,
It's a
Oh,
girl.
okay.
The most from the most recent one, it's a girl.
Are they all different, or are
Yeah.
mm,
they all the
It's like
same
the.
entity?
I mean, they're kind of more like of a race, to be honest, like a
Oh,
demonic
okay.
race. So there's kind of like this position of like called the priest, and so that's like their head honcho. So this is their head honcho for that. I don't know if
Mm.
it's like
Oh, okay.
a different area, but yeah.
Okay.
But if we're talking about like Hellraiser, I think it's got to be absolutely a minimum. I think.
Well, they got a lot of cultural presence. Like there's still presence about Hellraiser. I need to watch it, but I don't know. It just doesn't seem like something I'll
I know
enjoy.
it doesn't seem like it at first, but it is. There are pretty good movies. Especially, I think maybe the first two at least, maybe
and this
watch,
one.
and this one. Probably one of the better movies of all of them. Part one, two, and maybe this one. Um, yeah. So I think if we're talking about like just the priest or the priestess, I think they're both at A comfortably.
Alright, I'll trust you.
I only know
Stop
one
Uh,
pinhead.
pain, Levi. To take pleasure in pain.
I'm sure you've seen the Rick and Morty one of it episode
yeah,
of the
yeah. I seen
Cenobites.
Rick.
Oh,
That's what I was talking about.
Yeah,
That's what I was talking. There's still cultural conscious.
yeah. So it does make fun of them a bit, but yeah, it's basically that they love pain, they worship pain,
Oh, you humiliated
and
me, but that feels
I yeah
amazing, which feels
yeah
terrible.
yeah.
Well,
I think we got a few more.
if you would
How
like
many
to
more
add
we got?
anything else, that's it.
That's it.
That's it. Oh,
That's it.
well, that's it.
Okay,
You
I
guys have
think
anything else?
if we talking about like single villains,
Any more
Is there anything else
shifters?
I missed?
Um,
I feel like I got them all, and Leonard managed to pick up the pieces that I forgot.
Children of the Corn.
I thought about that one, but
I was thinking about that one too. The only one I could think is Malachi.
the first one, bro. The first one is literally the only movie, like the original one. Like that's the only one you can watch.
They
All
just
the
made
other
a remake,
movies
didn't
suck.
they?
It sucks. It
That's the one
sucks.
with the actual
All of them
creature.
suck. All of
Is
them
that one they're
suck.
on the resort? Is that the one where they're at the resort? And it's like it's like it takes place in Mexico, or is that some other one?
Wait, is it? Is that the
There's
I'm thinking?
there's one where they're like in Mexico, and there's just a whole bunch of Spanish children killing
I
people.
think it is
French
actually.
kids.
It's been yeah. I to be honest, bro, that movie is so forgettable.
Children of the Corn.
Not the original one. Not the original one. The most
the
recent one that
most
came out.
recent.
It's such a forgettable movie.
I saw one where
And
there was an actual monster in the corn. It was like a monster made out of corn.
that's
it
the
would-
new one.
yeah, terrible.
Okay.
I guess Pumpkinhead.
Oh,
You know what?
Pumpkinhead.
I
Yeah.
haven't seen a Pumpkinhead. I thought it was a cheesy villain.
It's an
'Cause
old
I only
ass
saw him
movie.
mentioned once. I saw
I
him
thought it was a
once.
pretty good villain.
Wait, which one's
I-
Pumpkinhead?
Pumpkinhead is the one that has to do with
It's like, kind of looks like the xenomorph.
yeah, it kind of looks like a xenomorph, but more of a monster. Not more alien, but more monster.
I thought that kid
But
from
the-
Trick or Treat was Pumpkinhead.
No.
He's
Let's
Sam.
do Pumpkinhead. He's probably very forgettable though.
But I think
That was-
Pumpkinhead for me, I think I can comfortably put him at B. Comfortably. But I guess you could argue for A.
I would say C.
I suppose we don't have any zombies on here.
He hasn't
Or
had a
the
nasty
zombies
presence.
aren't really.
Because it's hard to say
Pick one zombie.
zombies as a singular villain.
Yeah. We
But
got
I guess you could
Frankenstein.
talk about like zombies from a certain universe.
I'm gonna put
I would
Iron Man.
absolutely die in World War Z zombies though.
Those things are
Absolutely.
ridiculous.
Yeah. I would be
I
crumbled.
was thinking about the snowman horror movies, but
Jack Frost.
I was like,
Jack Frost,
like,
dude.
nah.
Yes. We rented that one by accident, thinking it was the other Jack Frost
Everybody, I
movie.
want Pumpkinhead.
Oh, that's Pumpkinhead. Never saw.
I don't. I would suggest C tier unless you guys I don't remember
I think the
much from.
concept of Pumpkinhead's pretty good though. I think it's like an angry spirit. Oh man,
I'd put B. I'll move her
I
down.
would like to put B, but I can see why it's C because the monster design is kind of cheesy.
Okay, but it's an old movie though.
Movie villains.
I think we got them all.
I'm pretty sure we're forgetting some, but probably
Mhm.
forgettable.
More
Any
than likely.
shit tears.
Everything else is like everything else that we probably find will be a lot of like cheesy stuff. Like there's the turkey, the killer turkey. For
Oh yeah, for
Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving movie. Yeah.
Yeah. There's the tire that kills people.
Is
So
it
there's
gingerbread
a,
man?
yeah. So there's a lot of trash that
Yeah.
definitely will be soft gummy.
But I think this is pretty good so far.
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
we got
we got a good amount. So, oh, so we already kind of classified what soft gummy is, but what's the worst of those?
power.
The worst of the worst from these, probably Winnie the Pooh.
No.
Oh, definitely the poo.
I'd put the Babadook. I just hate that. Over.
Oh, you forgot these in the right corner.
I can't even see.
Oh,
Yes,
dang.
it does.
Annabelle.
Makes no sense.
Annabelle's
Why
probably the
you
worst
guys
one,
are-
dude. All hype. All hype. It's just a design, bro. That is creepy.
Can't believe you guys. No, my vote's with Babadook.
I was gonna put Winnie the Pooh, but I'm only vote for Annabelle because I hate.
Well, at least
watching
Winnie
that.
the Pooh kills people and like gore. The Babadook doesn't do anything.
I
Just
haven't
stands in
seen-
doorways and waves.
I mean, you're right, but he does prey
Wait.
upon grief.
Yeah, I would want to put
Oh, wait,
Babadook
no.
because
The
That
idea of
wasn't-
the Babadook is cooler than the idea of Annabelle.
A demon possessing
Yeah.
a doll is not cool enough for you. A
We
drawing.
already have Chucky and Megan.
Yeah, and
But
I mean, you
Chucky's
gotta
not a
look at where
demon.
they end up
And
though.
Megan's just AI.
Babadook ends up being confined to the basement. Annabelle gets confined to a glass box that gets plastic. Like you gotta look at where they end up, bro.
I haven't
She
seen
breaks
Babadook,
out
but I'm telling you,
Sometimes.
at least I watched Annabelle. Babadook wasn't that scary enough to where I was like, I want to watch that. No, Babadook looks silly. Like, look at that. I'm supposed to be scared of a child drawing like that. Get out of here.
Mm-hmm. But I think that's what they mean. Like the concept of Babadook is just way
Mhm.
more scary
Oh, have you seen
than
the
the
Void?
actual Babadook.
The Voyage?
The Void.
Oh, The Void. No.
That movie's so good.
I think I'll give it Annabelle. At least I watched Annabelle. I can say that it's bad. I haven't watched Babadook. Saw it's bad. Well, all right. I think Annabelle goes in soft gummy, the soft gummiest. But who's the most crunchy?
I think of who we got. I think it has to be Michael Myers.
It has to be Jason Voorhees.
It has to be Freddy Krueger.
I vote. I vote for Michael.
Michael.
Ooh, yeah.
Oh my god! When you think of horror movie villain, you gotta think of that machete. You gotta think of that hockey mask.
Dude, freaking. He's
No.
got claw. Like, he's got razor claws.
Oh, you're
Dude,
really going
Jason
for Freddy
is the-
Krueger.
Out of that whole crunchy, Jason is the worst one.
No, there's no way. There's a reason why Freddy lost to Jason.
Oh, he wasn't even his own first movie.
You're putting the
Yeah.
shark above
Michael Myers wasn't
Jason.
even his third movie. Michael Myers was in his third movie. Jason went to space.
Yeah, but the first
Jason-
movie, you're not even in it. Come on. Man.
Jason went to Manhattan.
And that's so stupid.
He kicked that boombox and like they all backed down after that.
Okay. So the reason I think Michael Myers beats out Jason is because it gives more of of an evil presence. I believe. I think that Michael Myers is just this shares a lot of the similarities with Jason, just being an overwhelming force of nature. But I think there's just more terror to Michael Myers.
Tremors.
Jason is just Tremors.
Oh
um,
my.
I think that when you talk about it, comparing these guys as being the crunchiest, I think Jason just falls short a little bit. Um, I think because there's no real drive to Jason as to Michael, you kind of have this sense of humanity still in there. And Jason is just kind of just blind fury. But I think there is a drive to Michael in the sense of like there is still some humanity in there. And I think that after you see one of the last movies, you kind of see that Jason is this. I'm sorry, Michael Myers has this hold over a town um, that he grew up in, and I think that there's just more horror elements in that. But I do think that Jason has bloodier kills for sure. But I think there is just more something menacing with Michael rather than Jason.
Michael
But that
Myers
does, but
is
that, but I'm
more.
not saying that they're like this far apart, dude. I'm saying they're like this. Like there's literally a tiny bit separating them, dude.
I'll switch my
But
answer to Michael.
So I guess it's 3 versus 1, huh?
Yes.
I guess.
Well, I guess the crunchiest award. He's the goat. Just
I
put
think
on
he's
it.
the GOAT, man.
Mm.
I really do.
All right, well then. Well, that's the list.
And I think if I remember right, I think Michael Myers actually holds the record for most kills.
Is
Really?
it him?
I think
Well, he
so.
definitely got more. I think he definitely got more kills than in the second movie where he just killed like a whole mob.
Yeah, I think so. I think he's got more kills than Jason. I think Jason used to be number one, but then that movie came out, and then now it's Michael.
All right. You guys fine with this list on how everything's ordered around?
Yeah, I
Hell
think
no.
I
so.
think, or do you all guys want to go down the line? I think Jason should be right below Michael Myers.
Nah, he has no. Nah.
Nah.
Chucky's above him. What messes that?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's more of a
Oh,
He's more
character.
fun.
I could see.
Yeah. And I like it when they talk. They should talk when they're killing.
oh my god.
It's a lot funnier.
Let me see what else. Hannibal Lecter should not be that high up. He should not be that high up.
I think so.
I think so.
I think it's because you haven't seen enough. Have you only seen Silence of the Lambs, or have you seen any Hannibal Lecter movies?
haven't
I
seen
think
that much.
just
I've seen
because he's so
clips.
smart that yeah,
I
he should
think
probably
I
be up
think
there.
you need to watch the Hannibal Lecter movies. I don't think you need to see Hannibal Rising. I don't think that one's a great movie, but you could. But definitely Silence of the Lambs, Hannibal Lecter, and also the series Hannibal. Very, very good. All very good. And I think they'll definitely show you as to why I believe he's like top A tier. More than
Well, I
John
guess-
Kramer.
All right. Well, I think everything else I agree with. Just those two nitpicks. Everyone else cool with the list.
Yeah, I think so.
All right. Well, I guess that's it. Do you guys have any more final thoughts before I do the outro?
Mm-mm.
Let me see. 1 second.
All right. 1 second. We didn't go off Tremors, but Tremors I don't know if I was C or B.
I think it's
I
just
think
so old
C.
people forget it exists.
I love it.
I love the
There's
first
so
one.
many.
movie.
Yeah,
There's
they
so
kept
many.
adding on.
And they get more powerful by each one.
Yeah.
Like I think the third one they can fly.
Yeah.
Now, I think one of the last ones, they got some African ones now. They're even bigger.
Yeah,
But
that's
There's
it's
7
crazy.
movies counting. 7 movies
I like how they
counting.
always get that same guy.
Yeah.
Bert, I think his name. Yeah, they keep getting that same guy to come back.
We can do a 8-legged freaks.
Ooh.
Giant spiders.
Oh my god, dude, that movie is so funny.
Another C. That's another C movie level monster.
I'm good. I'm good with this.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
We've been at this.
All
long.
right. Yeah, we've
How
been.
long have you been gone?
All right.
3 hours? Jeez.
All right, guys. So this is our tier list for horror movie villains. Do you guys agree with this list? Tell us below. Did we forget any of your favorite villains? Let us know. I think we got mainly a lot of them, except for a lot of D-list movies. But let us know what you guys think about below. This has been Oni, John, Leonard. This has been Levi Out Loud. Happy Halloween. Happy October. We got more Halloween content coming up with you. Make sure to like and subscribe down below to get notified. And all in all, stay crunchy.
Girl, I was born with 2 left feet. Come grab my hand, get me on that beat. The way your body's moving, I can feel the heat of that fire. Look into my eyes, tell me what you see. Pretty